There we go, okay. Boom. So, here's a picture. Here is also a picture. The head's been cut off there. There's a picture. That's a picture of a car. It's actually still got the license plate on it. It's supposed to prove it's their car. So that's Darkside Phil's car, right? I don't want to dox his license plate really, but that's Darkside Phil's car. And it's got a big dent in the back. And apparently, the reason that's been photographed and published is because this lady is Darkside Phil's wife, Khat. I mean, I'm now streaming it, but like, I'm just streaming it between us, you know. Although it's public on Twitter now, so his wife, Khat. And people are cross in ways for lots of different reasons, because Alt said that he had the copy of this picture and it had Khat in it, and everyone was like, "Oh, you've got to show it us." And then it came out and it was this, and they're like, "Meh, it's not a very good picture." There's all sorts of different reasons people are cross. They're cross because they think it was like to try and drum up, like. Okay, well, this is how this works. The reasons people are cross are like this.
Is thus. My announcement is thus. I have been sent proof beyond a shadow of a doubt that Catherine Burnell still lives with DSP. Still
take that.
I can prove it. I would love to show it. I would love to show it, but this person sent it to me under the condition that I would not show it. So
Alt made this announcement, and people feel that that announcement itself was like hyping up the idea that he had this picture to get more people to watch the show, to get more people to give money. But it's a bit of a reach to say there was a financial. I don't believe there's a financial incentive, but like anyway, they're saying that, some of them. The other thing people are saying is this isn't a very good picture. It doesn't prove anything, and that even if she does still work at this jeans shop in wherever, and that doesn't prove that she still lives with Phil, which is how it was sort of like, you know, set up. I've also got another couple of points, but like I feel it's a bit strange. Like I feel again, like earlier on I made a joke, like misogynistic joke, but like this is a slight like misogynistic angle, isn't it, to be critiquing his wife because of the way she appears to have put on, like the other aspect is she appears to put on a bit of weight since the last time she was on his streams, which would be not Phil and Khat EastEnders, Phil and Khat Burnell. Like, it's all EastEnders, isn't it? There's not much Phil and Khat Burnell, but incredibly, this video is on DSP Gaming on his own channel. Incredibly, this video is on his own channel. Incredible scenes here.
All right, what's up, everyone? Good evening. Phil and Khat here. Welcome to a special IRL stream. It is Friday the 13th.
So look, she doesn't look like, she's quite normal looking, yeah. And in this picture, she appears to like not look so healthy. That's picture. It's not the same person. It very likely is the same person It very likely is. There's a photograph. I mean, I don't know where I'd find the photograph, but there's a photograph of her and Phil in a car. And like you look at it and you think, well, that's not her. She looks far too full in the face, and her hair's a lot shorter and darker. But then you see it and you're like, oh, it is her. She's just a lot fuller in the face. And that's not in this photo series. It was taken a little while ago. Maybe I could Google that up for you. DSP and Khat in a car. Yeah, this is the photograph. It's been made into a bit of a funny. It's been made into like someone's fucked it over with a bit of stuff, but like that's the photograph underneath it. Obviously, they put a bit of fucking weird shit on it, but you can see she's fuller in the face with a bit more of a fringe. But that's still the same lady. It's Khat. That's her. That's his wife. I mean, I'm not doxing his wife or anything. This is just, I'm telling you, this is what's the talk of the detractor community. Like, he's had her on the stream, like, we know who she is. And then she stopped coming on the stream because she was on a stream like this. I think it might have even been, I think it was the Halloween one, but Tevin said some bad things in the stream and it made her upset. And so, because Tevin said some bad things in the stream and it made her, like, in the comments, she would never come on stream again, and she's never been seen since. So in the detractor community that follow Darkside Phil, it's now become like this sort of strange law that Khat has like disappeared and like we don't see her anymore. So people were even worried that she's like doesn't exist. Like they were worried about what there were. People have been questioning whether he's been having a divorce, all sorts. So someone got a photograph of her at work. And so Alt said he wasn't going to show anyone. And then everyone was cross with Alt because he said, I've got this picture, but I'm not going to show anyone. And then now he's shown everyone. And everyone's even more cross because they don't like it for lots of different reasons. I mean, there is one reason, which is bad that, like bad to intrude on the life and stalker the woman, isn't it? Like, stalk, not just the woman, but stalker this particular woman or anyone. Like, bit of extra. On the other hand, like, you know, if this was Alan's, you know, the way Alan's at the poker game, you know, I don't even think it's that, like, she's in a public place where she publicly works and someone's taken a not very good picture of her and like they're not really stalking her, they're just confirming she exists because everyone's asking the question. It's, I don't know, I think it'd be funny as fuck. Like, in a way, I would say, like, you know, if I lived in America and everyone was doing on about Darkside Phil and this and that, I would literally just be happy just to go and sit outside his house in my car, because he lives in a gated community, and just be like, I've got a photograph of her leaving the house. She exists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit weird, but it's like paparazzi stuff. Like, it's not awful. It's not dirty stalking. Like, I'm not like, you know, creeping through their bins trying to get in their house. Like, just there's a photo of her. She exists. It's, for me, it's almost like legendary detractor stuff insofar as, like, with Alan, like, could you imagine if someone sent me a video of, like, you know, Alan at the airport coming off the plane? Like, I would fucking love that. Like, you know what I mean? Him walking through the terminal and then being like, Alan! And he's like, who are you? You're like, you're the armchair nonce. Like, you know, and then it kicks off in the airport. That'd be funny as fuck. I'm not going to say don't. I mean, I'm going to say don't harass the man, obviously, because I'm live on the internet. But I'm also going to be like, if that video fell into my possession, I'd play it and watch it and it'd be funny. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but, like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, Catherine Burnell does exist. She does work at the jeans place where she, like, this, the reason that she's been photographed in this location is because this location is the shop that she's known to work at. So she does work there. She just doesn't look like in as good health as she used to, but it's a very blurry photo. Also, she goes for these haircuts at this place called Curls and Twirls, and like Phil goes there and they go there to Curls and Twirls. It's like a known thing. And I feel like Curls and Twirls are doing her dirty and overcutting her hair. Like, she used to look really nice with the long hair. I used to like, you know, used to think she looked quite nice with the long hair, but they, like, or maybe she just got it all tied up and she's actually still got long hair, but you can't see because it's such a blurry photo. I mean, that's a possibility. Or maybe she's wearing a hat. But the detractor community today was up in arms about the publication of, or non-publication of the photo, the eventual publication of the photo. Like, some of the comments, I'll read you some of the comments. Darkside Phil, I'm just reading literally just through the comments from the top. Obviously, my comment comes at the top because I posted my comment either most recently because I saw this late, or because I'm, it's American and then I wake up. But yeah, I put people seem cross. You can't always get what you want or get what you want. Haha. Anyway, Darkside Phil. It's hard to explain. Darksyde Phil, or is this Darkside Piglet? I think this is Darksyde Phil though. No, it's Darkside. Anyway, look, I have no gripes because I'm waiting for Phil to react to it. But it's the photo of the car hood quality, but the ones of Khat are shot with an Atari joystick. Either way, I'm entertained. And Alt explains that they think they did digital zoom so they didn't have to get too close to her. King Jad says, in Scottish, you claim these prove that Khat was still at the snort fort. Instead, we have images of what might be Khat at her place of work, with what appears to be the infamous Toyota parked outside it. If it is Khat, then she probably still at snort fort. In my opinion, this is a nothing burger. So, that being said, says, I would have shared them right away if it wasn't, etc., etc. And then Duty shared that other picture that confirms it's Khat. They're talking about it, but King Jad said that they proved that Khat was still at the snort fort, but they might be, it's not as good, and so that's a bit of a negative. This says world's biggest loser, who follows me on Twitter, so says, I seriously just don't get the point of any of this. 2 pictures of Khat and a picture of Phil's car don't do anything to prove they're still together. Could very easily be like how it was with Panda Lee, who stayed with Phil for a while after they broke up. I just wanted to, there was a couple of, this one's a negative. Navi, Nathan, Charlotte says, wow, I love you dudes, but this is a massive letdown. Are you taking lessons from Todd? Overhype and underdeliver to its finest. I'll chalk it up to senility. So, there's a couple of negative ones. I mean, I said I'd read them all, but I can't be fucked to read them all. But there's a couple of negative ones that basically say, it's bad to sort of stalk on the woman, and it's a bit bad to be, it's almost like over the line of being dented. We accuse Phil's supporters of being stupid and doing stupid things. They say dented because it's in relation to dented heads, but I don't like saying it. But anyway, they call them the dents, and some people say this is dented detractorism, to be doing stupid stuff that makes you look bad. I suppose I need to find one of those that say that, don't I? A lot of people are basically saying the photos are bad, and that's one of the main gripes, is the photos themselves are bad. Yeah, there's a bunch of different comments anyway. It's not. I thought that me personally, anyway, I was a bit surprised. I thought that when I suppose it's the way Alt did the bit of the hyping up on the show a little bit, saying I've got pictures but I'm not going to show them. But I basically, because I thought they'd be a bit better and mean something a bit more. And I think I was surprised. I suppose I thought in general the detractors would be like, well, hey, here's a picture of Khat, well, hey, let's talk about that. But instead the conversation has much more been on the way that Alt obtained or revealed or whatever the pictures than the content of the pictures themselves. And in some places, the decision to take and reveal pictures like that, which is interesting, isn't it? Mind you, I have had a private conversation with a detractor where I got all my joking out my system, so I didn't do it on stream because no. But maybe it's that, maybe people are saying things behind closed doors and I'm not party to every conversation because that's just the public Twitter comments, isn't it? But my part in it is that Alt said it on the stream and I was like, whoa, pictures, let's see them. And then he was like, I'm not going to show people. And I was like, rotter. It's a bit like... my feeling on that personally is a bit like, look, you can't say you've got the pictures and then not show them. You just you have to just how do I explain it? No, either don't say anything or show them, but don't say you've got them. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like getting halfway up the ladder and then not going down the slide. Have you seen the film Feeder? Big up, share. This is one of the issues, I suppose. Like, to discuss the photographs and not the revelation of the photographs, which is just what I did as well, telling you what the detractor world was up to this week. The actual photograph content is that she appears to have put on weight, like basically, and has made herself, or appears to have made herself, less interested in being, you know, like the shorty haircut and the like dowdy sort of clothing or whatever. It makes it just look like she's kind of given up in a way. And Phil has been feeding her a lot of unhealthy DoorDash food they accuse him of, and basically, you know, the accusation is that by going out with Darkside Phil, this is what happens to you. It is a bit mean, yeah, that is a bit mean. Like, she's not, the thing is, she's not a target, but within the lore of Darkside Phil, she moved into his house, appeared on a few streams, and is his wife, and like was present. And then suddenly he said, right, she's not coming on the streams anymore. She's not, you know, he doesn't let her have social media. He doesn't let her have a TikTok or whatever. She used to stream herself. She used to actually do her own streams, and that stopped. Just no more Khat on the internet. She's now not on the internet. And so I get it, for privacy reasons, you don't want your relationship and stuff on the internet, but he put it on the internet. Like, there's a video that's still on his channel, like I said, of him and his wife here, so we can watch this. And then because of the response from trolls, he took her off the internet. So now the people that watch the internet are like, hang on, where is she? What's happening with her? We want to know. Do you know what I mean? It's like a sort of soap opera storyline that evolved mainly because of the way, like, if she occasionally came on streams and just said hi, this probably wouldn't be a big story, would it? Because everyone would know who she was and what was happening with her. She's just a normal person that comes on the stream sometimes and says hi. But instead, he's hidden her away, and she's turned from quite attractive, nice young lady to someone that looks, I suppose, I mean, am I being harsh in saying it looks like she's kind of given up a bit? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong there, but like...
2018, July 13th, 2018. And we're going to be doing pretty much very similar to how we did last time we did this stream. It was a 3-hour stream where we basically just sat here and kind of talked to you guys and answered a lot of questions. All right.
In this, you know, I do body language, yeah? I should do a body language review of Darkside Phil, really. This is incredible, this video. I love it so much. Because she sat effectively behind him. He's sitting up to the computer, to the keyboard, you know, doing the stream. And he used to do the stream off this sofa. And usually he would put this... as a baseline, he doesn't sit up to the keyboard like this. He usually sits back on the sofa and does his stream to the camera in these days with the sofa like that. And then, you know, he's got the keyboard that he can work like that. But he effectively sits in front of her. Now, there's two reasons for that. One is it's blocking, so it's like protective from the audience, hiding her from the audience, you know, protecting her in some way. But another way is that it, like, the interaction between them, like, she's looking at his back. He's not giving her any human interaction. He should have his arm round her. He should be, like, you know, a part of their unit together, like looking into her eyes and talking to her a lot, like looking into her eyes and talking to her a lot. And like, instead, he just like sits in front of her for the whole fucking time talking to chat. It's incredible. Kind of
what we're planning on doing this time as well. Okay, but I need to update the stream stats right now. We actually are up to 515 subs. Let me do this now before we start answering your questions. Hold on.
And like, you can see her reading chat there, and I don't know what they're saying, but you can see her reading it.
4 to 15. Top tier is currently Derek. Let's get Derek up on the leaderboard.
And like, obviously she's having a good old read of the chat. Now, Phil later revealed to us, and I don't know if it was this particular broadcast, but he later revealed to us that he told her, they're going to be saying nasty things in the chat. Be ready for this. You're going to go on stream with me, and they are going to say some nasty shit in chat. So, okay, so there's loads of trolls, and they're probably going to be nasty. Like, he sort of set her up and briefed her for it, so she's looking out for it. And like, that was bad as well. Like, if anything, he should have said, look, if anyone's weird in chat, just literally ignore it. Don't even look at it. Just, you know, talk to me. We'll be together on stream. I'll monitor the chat. If it goes weird, I'll monitor it, but don't worry about that. like, you know, as like a small minor point, but instead he gave her a briefing that it's going to be bad and there's going to be trolls. So she's looking out for it and not liking it when she sees it.
What in the fuck did I just type? That's not even close to saying Derek. All right, and now we have a top tip. The current new top tip, guys.
It's funny because Derek was tipping there, and Derek got hold of his mum's credit card and did a load of tips, and then later on Phil had to refund them all because Derek wasn't supposed to have his mum's credit card.
Is from Rigby, who tipped me $5.01 and said, stop talking. This is an IRL stream, so if you want me to stop talking, it's going to be a pretty boring one. I'm just saying. Wow. All right, so Rigby.
There's adverts all the way through it. But yeah, so Phil and Khat exists as a stream. You know, he used to have her on the stream, yeah? So sometimes she was on the stream, and then there was one where they did it and Tevin said some bad things and she stopped appearing, and instead she's got to go and get a job to support the household. Because of course Darkside Phil earned probably over $2,000 last month and spent about $1,800 on WWE champions on the mobile game playing Candy Crush with wrestlers. So like that stream is really fun to watch. Actually, maybe we should watch it. I don't know if I'm tired or too tired to watch. We could watch the rest of it, but now she looks like this. This is the best photo we've got of her now, and people are basically saying that it's sad because Phil has made her go fat and all her hair is cut off and she used to look pretty. I mean, there are not loads of people saying that. I'm paraphrasing for what I think the feeling is on the vibe of it, and to be honest, I kind of understand their point, because like at one point Darkside Phil, this is the story of Darkside Phil as well though, at one point, like when he did this video with her 5 years ago, he was making a good living out of being an internet person. Even though he had his haters and his detractors and his trolls, he was making a good living out of being an internet person.
You and the fire alarms and a crazy ex. No, that was not a crazy ex. That was just some girl that at that party went nuts, okay? But no, I mean, outside of
look at her face when he talks about the ex. I love it.
I'm just gonna keep playing.
Look, someone's tipped him $10 there.
Yes! A commentator. Amazing. Alright, so Spawn Killer has tipped $10 to become the top tipper for tonight. He says, do you have any college funny stories? I saw the video you talked about the story with you and the fire alarms and a crazy ex. No, that was not a crazy ex. That was just some girl that at that party went nuts, okay? But no, I mean, outside of the stories, I've told you guys so many stories about my college days. I told you about how we used to wrestle in the dorm, and the one time that we were, throwing each other around the dorm room. I already told you about the party where we got into trouble because we had liquor, and my stupid roommate had pot. I told you about how the cop accidentally stepped on the pot. I don't think I've ever told. There's only like 2 or 3 college stories that I haven't. I'm pretty sure I've told you all of them at this point. So honestly, no, I don't honestly think I don't have any new college stories.
He hasn't looked her in the eye throughout the entirety of that answer. He's had his back to her the whole time.
To tell you, because the thing is, my college career was very short-lived. I only lived on campus for 1 semester, and then I moved back off and lived with my parents again. So it's like, how much could happen in 1 semester? Like 2 crazy things, right? Let's get Spawn Killer up there. No, but I think I told you about the time when I smoked pot and it was laced with something, right? Oh, wow, that thing was off the screen. All right, good thing I fixed it, right? I smoked pot, it was laced with some crazy shit, and I don't even remember the whole day, and the next thing you know, we had to go to dinner, like, the next day with my roommate's parents, and we woke up, like, in late afternoon, we were like, holy shit, where'd the whole day go? Like, a whole day had passed, because whatever was in this pot had, like, had time lapse in our fucking...
You got roofied.
Fucking heads or whatever. But outside of that, no, I don't really have any really interesting stories to tell about college. I told you, my college experience was very, very limited, and not much.
She's just picking her nails.
Exciting there to talk about. I accidentally clicked on something that I'm trying to close. What the fuck? I accidentally opened a browser I didn't want to open. Get that out of there.
Talk to your wife.
Close all tabs. There we go. Okay.
And the story of how they got together was Phil broke up with his previous girlfriend, who, that's a different story, and was single, and Catherine was still with her previous boyfriend, and she didn't like it there. So Phil got talking to her on the internet and said, why don't you leave that boyfriend and come and move into my house? And she said, well, I don't like living where I am, and you seem not the same as my boyfriend, So I suppose I'll try that. And then she moved in. I mean, I'm not even getting this wrong here. Like, he flew her over the country after having like an internet relationship with him. He flew her across the country. She moved in, and then they decided to get married because it was going well. Well, yeah.
All right. Oh God, no. See, that's you're wrong, Baby Jim Bob. That's not correct. The story that you're talking about, the vomiting story and diarrhea story, was not a college story. That was actually just, I believe, that was actually the summer between high school and college. But that's not the story. It has nothing to do with college. So.
The vomiting and the diarrhea story.
All right, let's continue. So we got a question for Khat from Emperor Swag.
Here we go. Look at that. Yeah.
Says, did you ever play the Metro games? I just recently beat them both, and they're really good. Have you ever played any of the Metro games?
Have you ever? Hey, honey, have you ever played any of the Metro games? I'll reiterate the question. Have you ever played any of the Metro games? It's your turn to be on the spot. So, some good, some good old coupley body language going on here. Yeah, she's like instantly looking away from his eye contact for a start.
Played one. I don't remember which one it was. I think
Oh.
it was.
Oh, get a little closer to the mic only because the air conditioning's on. There we go.
I don't remember which one it was. I played one. I think it was Last Light or something.
So that was the sequel.
Yeah, I played that one. I liked it. It was good. Actually, aren't they coming out with another one?
Next year, so yeah. And it's gonna be one of the games that's coming out the same week. Like, there's 5 games coming out on like one.
We think Khat's basically. I think most of us detractors think she's kind of lovely. She's kind of nice. She also is on the neurodivergent spectrum, autism, I think. But I also think maybe Phil is in a way. Yeah. Oh, I skipped it by mistake then. But like, she does answer some questions. She does do some talking, and she likes games, and they talked about games. And there's another advert.
Oh, hey, son.
But yeah, Phil and Khat Burnell. There's not loads of her on the internet though. But surely there'll be a Halloween one. Yeah, here's a Halloween one. I like this.
YouTube does not give a shit, so he runs.
Little children, and I thank you and I welcome you to my happy little stream here today. And so as we play today, we'll make sure that all the mistakes of nature are touched up with little paint jobs. Yes, everyone, yes. Alright, guys. So thank you. Here it is. Who am I? I'm obviously a 1970s disco dancer. No, I'm not. So, I told you guys.
Obviously, this is a detractor, not the actual live stream, but this is Snort Burnell.
YouTube does not give a shit, so he runs away. Can't do it on Twitch anymore. He's banned from Twitch. Like my hair, I styled it for several hours this morning to.
But she's on the stream dressed up. She's part of it, and then it had to stop. She had to go. She's not allowed anymore. The Ballad of Phil and Khat. And that's this week. This was the talk of the town, but only for a bit. And now it's not allowed to be talked about anymore because everyone got cross about it. So, like, no one's talking about it. Like, they did that being said today, and they talked about it for 20 minutes at the start, and they were like, right, we're not talking about that anymore. But it's been talked about now. She is, yeah. Like, the other thing that I should point out is that when Phil was in a previous relationship, he had her on the internet as well, his previous girlfriend, and at no point did he ever seem to have any sex with her. And I know I'm being a bit funny and saucy, but honestly, he went through an entire relationship avoidant of sex, and there are moments like there's one where they're in a hotel room. DSP Seattle Holiday. So he lives in Seattle. He went on holiday to Seattle with his then girlfriend Panda Lee. Panda Lee. I'm not going to be able to find the exact. This is where I need Snood on the show. My friend Snood didn't know where all these videos were, but they go to, basically, to just quickly tell you, they go to a hotel in Seattle for holiday, even though they live in Seattle, and in the hotel there's like pornography videos that they laugh at. Like, Phil, like, he comes out, the video starts, he comes out of the bathroom with the camera up, like videoing, and he's like, so this is the hotel room, and he pans over and she's on the bed, like in her clothes but on the bed, and she's like, whoa, like, and it seemed to me that she was thinking, well, we're at the hotel now, maybe we'll have some sex. And like when they got there, the first thing he did is like, it's like the camera is in the way of their personal relationship, and like he does all this filming of all this stuff and like making a video about it, and it's just a fucking hotel room. And then at one point they look at the porn videos and he makes jokes about them, and like it's like she's basically saying to him, hey, we're here, do you want to have sex? And he's like, no, I don't, I want to make a video if I can. And then at the end of it, you know full well that he said, right, I've just got to upload that to YouTube, so just while that's uploading, I just can't do the sex right now because it's uploading. And then at the end of that, he was like, oh, I'm sorry that I can't do the sex now, it's a bit too late, but we'll do it tomorrow, I promise. Like, it felt like he's just avoiding it. So I feel like he just fucking never had sex with his girlfriend. And the same with with Khat now. Like, my feeling on it is this is someone in a relationship where there is no real sexual element or real like bond and connection going on. Like, they've just sort of fucking lived in the house and given up, and like, you know, they get fed regular, they go to work, they play their favourite games on the computer. Phil's up in his room doing his computer game streaming. Like, it just feels like she's just sort of like, I mean, I might be wrong in my assessment because all it is a blurry photograph, but you know, from that back then to now, we haven't seen her much. So when you do see her, you're like, whoa. And like, he's a weird narcissist. He'll probably be going on all the time, telling his rants, doing his stories, you know, making it about himself at home. So she's probably fucking fed up of it all. There was talk that he might have been having a divorce because a few weeks back now, he said he was going through a difficult time. And he couldn't tell us what it was because the trolls would get hold of it and they'd all talk about it. But he was going through a difficult time, and like, you know, he was just gonna have to get through it. And it could have just been a beg, you know, it could have just been like a pity beg. But we think it's either a health-related issue or a parent's health-related issue, or some people thought it was a divorce-related issue, or maybe Khat's got a health problem. But he said, it's great that I've still got my wife here by my side to get through this. So like, he made a point of saying his wife was there, so some people thought that meant his wife isn't there. Because otherwise, why did he, you know, there's a lot of funny reading into things, isn't there? But it turns out, yes, she is there, well, at least working at that same place, selling jeans that she always used to, eating DoorDash, and like, you know, basically just hanging out with Phil as much as he'll allow her to. I wonder what he's doing. What I really wanted to do.
I got a confession.
Me personally, I wanted to cover his days off. I wanted to start covering his days off. In like Phil's day off, a psychological analysis. But things move so quickly in the world of Darkside Phil.
You got your special abilities that are all unique compared to if you're playing with Miles or Peter Parker. So it's pretty wild, the amount of stuff right from the get-go they included. It's not one of these games where it's like, oh, inexplicably you've lost all your powers and now you must get them all back slowly. It's, you feel powerful right from the beginning of the game, which is a good thing. But, you know, the 3 hours in, have I really had any challenge yet? Maybe a couple enemies have hit me and you do take a lot of damage. But I get the feeling that once the heavier enemies show up, if you remember in Marvel Spider-Man 1, the toughest enemies in the game were not the bosses. Were not crazy, you know, challenge runs or things. It was the big fat guys. There were fat guys that were like tanks, and they took so many hits to kill.
Rocking around on that chair. The thing that annoys me the most, that detractors don't seem to pull him up on as much as really gets on my nerves, is the size of the pop shield. You might notice I've got a microphone. It's got a little spongy thing on. I don't think you really need a giant, huge pop shield in 2023. And if you do put it on, you can drop it down. Like, you're not even talking into the microphone. So the pop shield's there to stop things like doo-dee-doo-doo-doo-dee-doo. It working again. I was just ranting about his pop shield. It's in the
You
way.
couldn't just like bull rush
It's in the way.
through them. You had to actually use the parries and the dodges and everything to try to defeat.
Mushroom Kingdom t-shirt, you chuffer.
It broke fucking Pokemon sales records. Ignore it. There's no reason to pay any attention to it. Really. I received a $1 tip. Someone says Bojangles is disgusting. I ordered Bojangles for lunch. I never want to go back. The chicken was uncooked. I never even heard of this place. But I never heard of it. Is there a place? Is it a fried chicken place? I'm not aware of that. Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Right, I like the tips.
I'm not supposed to be a nice guy.
The Q&A.
And we also have the fee. There's no way I would
So
ever
that's
go back
gaming
over there.
news.
This is what keeps me going for 15 years. If I didn't have the level of support I got from you guys, I wouldn't still be here.
This is the begging segment.
Okay? Number one, engagement. If you're watching this stream, if you're watching this video on demand and you like it, please give it a like and leave a comment. Whether it's, hey, just helping out with the algorithm, or just want to say good podcast today. Stuff like that helps significantly. That's a boost to the amount of attention that we get here. All right? So if you could, I would absolutely appreciate that. All right? And thank you in advance to anyone who does give me engagement on the channel. I really appreciate it. All right? Number two, super chats, super stickers, super thanks. Ways to contribute to this channel through YouTube itself. Super chats, super stickers happen during live streams. Super thanks are on an on-demand video. If you do that, I will give you an individual shout out, whether it's live on a stream or in the comment of the video. I'll be sure to highlight and, like that comment. And we also have the leaderboard here, right? So please consider, doing one of those things. It helps out a lot, okay? In addition, we have memberships. Memberships are awesome, especially this time of year.
Still begging then.
Getting access to dozens of emotes. Being able to talk as much as you want in the stream chat without any limitation. Everyone else has like a 10-second limitation. Members do not. Okay? Getting a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. Among other features. Right now, members were the people who got to nominate a Halloween game, and they got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? Which is really nice. So, memberships, you get a bunch of cool features on the channel. You support the channel. Maybe you're someone who's around a decent amount, or maybe even you're a newcomer and you like what you see here. You're like, I want to help out the community. I want some people to actually enjoy the content a little more. You can actually gift memberships to the channel, which is a cool feature. So please consider it. I am hoping by the end of this month to boost my member numbers. At one point we were at 6.
He's got 472 members. The man has 472 members. This video's got 645 views. He's got 472 members. Granted, people have watched this live as well. He cuts his live stream up into videos and then uploads and then deletes the live stream. But
50, and we lost a lot this month. I would hope to get some of those back, hopefully by the end of the month. Okay? RG Beef, I'm really had it with you now. I'm going to tell you one more time. You got to shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't care what you're saying in the chat right now. You have zero credence to anything you've said whatsoever.
so there you go. I was just from the minute I just skipped through the main bit of the show and started from wanted to see the chat at the end where he talks to the stream. Let him have the bag, put the bag in, and then straight into it. Being mean to people, even if you don't like what they're saying, this way of behaving is not really acceptable in normal social situations.
Okay, 0. Last chance to shut up and stop. I'm trying to be very nice and very fair with you right now, right? You notice I haven't taken any action yet. You're continuously harping on an issue you know nothing about. I'm going to give you one more chance to shut up. Let's see if you can do it. Okay. I'm being very, very patient with this guy at this point. Okay. Now, the final way you can contribute to my streams, tipping. And tipping, hugely helpful right now.
I thought we'd finished with the begging. We did the admonition of the chat. I thought we were through the begging. We were on to admonishing the chat. But now we're back to begging.
Because in the last week, I bought 3 games. 3.
That's the gaslighting, him saying he's patient. Because you notice he was losing his patience. And that's why he did the outburst. So he said, I'm losing my patience with you now. You keep doing it in chat. I've come to the end of my patience. I now have to say something that I don't, but I am being very patient. That's gaslighting 101, is after you've done the bad thing, say the opposite.
Coming up in the next several weeks, I got many more to buy, including Alan Wake 2, Modern Warfare 2, or Modern Warfare 3, excuse me. And there'll be more coming up in the next couple of months. Plus, sadly this month...
Give me money because I need to run the podcast. Sorry, the gaming show that I run on YouTube that I used to solicit tips with. Hang on, haven't you already had the tips though, Phil? Shouldn't you use the tips that people have already given you to buy the games? And then while you're playing the games, you should say things like, thank you to so-and-so for giving me the tips to pay for this game. Like, instead of, I won't play the game unless you give me the money in advance.
My payment from YouTube's held up. I was supposed to get paid today. I didn't. I'm not going to get paid for several more days. Whenever they try to pay on a weekend, it gets delayed many days.
Well, that's fine because you can't rely on today's YouTube payment. Surely you've got a bit, after 15 years of being on YouTube and after thousands of pounds being given to you over the last couple of days and weeks, surely, this guy's so bad for the grifting. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, when I watch it like this, usually I watch it through the frame of other detractors, but here, me being given the opportunity to pause when I feel like it and say what I think, I find myself compelled. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, could you imagine if I was on here on this stream telling you that because my YouTube payment's the same as his, comes in on whatever day it fucking comes in on. Like, I'm not gonna. Could you imagine if I was here saying, listen, I didn't get the YouTube payment today, but I still need my fix. Could you do me a tick? Could you tick me on until tomorrow? Like, what are you talking about, Phil? Like, you want more money off them? They're the same people that gave you the money that's being in the YouTube payment that's being held up. Like, they've already give you the money.
I'm not going to get paid for several more days. Whenever they try to pay on a weekend, it gets delayed many days. And I got bills clearing right now. So tips right now.
So tips right now.
There you go. See? So tips right now.
Tips right now.
Try to pay on a weekend, it gets delayed many days. And I got bills clearing right now. So tips right now. So there you go. See? What did I say? I tried to be nice to RGB, and he just insulted me in the chat. I knew it, because these people who are here in my chat to derail are not here to actually make a point. They're just morons. They make shit up. They talk out of their asses. This guy knows absolutely nothing, and now he's gone, and he's not coming back, and I'm happy that he's gone.
Glad you didn't make a thing out of it.
What a complete idiot. I tried to be nice. Was I not nice? I gave him 3 chances. 3. But that's the thing. I guess I'm not supposed to be a nice guy. What I'm supposed to do, the moment that I saw that, I should have just got rid of him.
Because the nice guy probably keeps going on about it after they ban them.
And never even addressed him. Because then people would say, oh, you see, you took the bait. Well, no, I was trying to be nice, actually. I didn't want to be mean to the guy, but he was being very mean to me. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Pretty sad. But it is what it is. I guess that's just life. I just got to be a jerk, right? I should just be a jerk and then not say anything, I guess.
Are you alright? Are you okay? This is your stream, and you have the authority to talk about whatever you want at any given moment.
Probably the better way to do it. Anyway, so let's continue. Tipping would help a lot today. Why? Number 1, to afford all these games coming out. Number 2, because of the delay in my YouTube payment. All right. So anything would help, any support, but tipping today particularly would be a great way to help. I am looking to hit at least the tier 1 tips goal every stream I do today. Sadly, we didn't do that yesterday, so it would be great if we could do that today. All right, so please consider tipping. And that's that.
Yeah, that's the beg segment. Glad we got through that. I kept my mouth shut for the last bit, but incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible.
That's it. That's all I got to say. All right, shout-outs. First of all, to my knowledge, I haven't seen anything come in on the YouTube side of things. Am I correct? Nothing. I don't see any super chats or memberships. So nothing to shout out. Oops. Nothing to shout out there.
He bashes that microphone on the daily.
We have some tips to shout out today. So let's start off here.
We told them not to give you any super chats. You told them not to give you any memberships, although you did say you wanted to hit the members target. But you told them tips, tips, tips. It's all about the tips. And when he says tips, what he means is they send them directly to PayPal and he reads them out off email.
With what appears to be a generous $15 tip from Big Mario Gaming. It said Luigi, but but it's Mario. I'm very confused. It's Big Mario Gaming. He says, hey, Phil, sorry I haven't been here for a week. My internet went out. I was kind of enjoying the unplug with offline games. They came today and they fixed my internet. I'm back up and running. Good to enjoy Mario Wonder goodness. I'm at the start of World 3. You're ahead of me. Excited to see you play Alan Wake 2 next week. Me too. As you might know, I don't like horror games unless I'm watching someone playing it. Helps me feel not as scared when watching.
I don't like horror games except when I watch someone else playing it, because it makes me feel less scared when I'm... I'm sorry, what?
Great day, as much as it's long, so I figured I would leave you a longer tip. Well, thank you so much to Big Mario Gaming, formerly Big Larry Gaming, but he called himself Big Mario Gaming in this tip. I appreciate that very much. Let's get you up on the leaderboard.
Which we lean over here to do.
Glad that your internet's back.
Because Phil's got 2 keyboards
in the modern day,
and 2 computers set up.
Big...
So the tips come in over on the right-hand side, and then he leans over to the left-hand side where he's got the other keyboard, but he still has to crane his neck to look over to the right-hand side to enter the information.
Hassle to have your internet down. And for me, you know, I have backup, but all the internet that I have here, like backup satellite internet, is terrible. I have very bad reception, so when my internet's down, basically I'm...
So the tip was about the man had his internet down or whatever, and now you're talking about Phil again, which is nice.
Dead in the water, I can't even do anything. So, okay.
Glad we worked that round to talk about me.
I received a $1 tip.
Another one. You shouldn't have $1 tips, because it encourages people to give you $1 for stupid reasons, and then, like, you get $1... But $1 is not that much these days. Like, if you raise it to like $3 or $4, then you probably weed out some of the troll tippers.
Someone says Bojangles is disgusting. I ordered Bojangles for lunch. I never want to go back. The chicken was uncooked. I never even heard of this place. But I never heard of it. Is there a place? Is it a fried chicken place? I'm not aware of that. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Where is that located? It's kind of like Church's Chicken and stuff, too. Like, I never heard of those either. I've seen ads. I've never actually seen them. Huh. Anyway. Uncooked chicken is gross. I mean, that could be dangerous. You get salmonella, right?
That was just a little, question and answer session with Phil there about a chicken for a minute.
I received a tip from Declan. All right? And it said...
You notice he has to read them through first to confirm that they're not troll tips. So you get these and it's, I got this, and you have this moment while he passes it.
Well, first of all, he's asking something about how do you handle, personal challenges and issues in your life? How do you juggle them? I mean, as you get older, essentially you learn to handle that stuff better. Okay, so for example, when I was younger, in my 20s, I would say, I got a lot of, how can I put it? I got overexcited and overdramatic and very upset about things very easily. Anger.
Tantrums.
Anger issues. I had a lot of anger issues when I was younger, I think.
Because you're a narcissist. Hang on. I want to clip that for Steve.
Something about how do you handle, well, first of all, he's asking something about how do you handle personal challenges and issues in your life. How do you juggle them? I mean, as you get older, essentially you learn to handle that stuff better. Okay? So, for example, when I was younger, in my 20s, I would say, I got a lot of, how can I put it? I got overexcited and overdramatic and very upset about things very easily. Anger issues. I had a lot of anger issues when I was younger. I think a lot of that came through in a lot of my earlier videos. The amount of anger issues that I had. Everything was a big deal. Seriously, everything was a huge deal, a big problem, right? And as I got older,
I'm stopping that before he goes on to the as I got older bit, because he's going to try and explain that as he got older, he mellowed out, but it's not the truth. He still, to this day, has big meltdowns about. The other day, his telly went out while he was streaming, and he uses his telly to play the games on. So the telly broke. and he was streaming, and that was it. It was like a full meltdown. The earth had ended. The stream had to immediately end, but he didn't turn the stream off. He just went and sat at the computer, got straight on Amazon. He was like, how am I going to afford this telly? Oh my God, I've got to buy a telly. And like, someone had better tip me the telly money right now. Things are going to end. Like, it's massive ends of the like insanity. But I want that one just for Steve of the Dead, because like this is just insanity. This is just an insanity for him to be saying like his tantrums. Steve, actually, what is he called now? He's punished. Pun. I'm so awful at this. There it is. Punish Steve. Tantrums in the 20s. Post that. That's funny. He's going to like that.
Like personal challenges and issues in your life very easily. Anger issues. I had a lot of anger issues when I was younger. I think.
And then now we get to see Phil continue to say, but I cut that off because you couldn't put loads and loads on the clip. But this should also be on the clip because it's bollocks that he's saying about this in modern day. He's still a problematic person.
Basically realized that not everything was a world-ending deal I needed to freak out about anymore.
Big up Steve, Smarty Hearty. Steve's going to be out of hospital tomorrow, I think, and going home. And then give him another week or so, and we'll see and check in. Because I think at the moment he's going to be doing about the same, but at home. He said he'll be getting back into content creation, but slowly, and doing little clips and bits and pieces, because he can't sort of sit up in a chair doing stuff for a big long amount of time. But yeah, like, fingers crossed for a quick recovery. You know, it just is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, it's recovery time still, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's funny because even on these streams, people will bring up some nonsense from outside the stream and say, oh, this is happening, that's happening. I'm like, I don't care. Why would that affect me? I'm not going to sit here. When I was younger, I had something to say about everything. Everything was a huge concern for me, right? And even things that, that stress you out, literally, you can just realize that a lot of that stuff is just not that big of a deal anymore. I think what it is, too, is as you get older, you start to get a little bit wiser, you get to a little bit more life experience, and you get to see a lot of other things that are a lot more scary, all right? As I'm getting older now, things with health, I see people around me getting sick and passing away.
People around me getting sick and passing away. Hang on, wait. I need to clip that.
Getting older now, what it is, too, is as you get older, it's just not that big of a deal anymore. I think what it is, too, is as you get older, it's just not that big of a deal anymore. I think what it is, too, is as you get older, you start to get a little bit wiser, you get to a little bit more life experience, and you get to see a lot of other things that are a lot more scary. All right? As I'm getting older now, things with health, I see people around me getting sick and passing away.
Right, yeah, do you? Isn't that what Scotty Hottie said ages ago? Team mom had a stroke and died or something. Like, come on. Like, health coin skyrockets, divorce coin plummets. Someone around you got sick and passed away? Who?
Crime is a major concern.
Crime.
You start seeing all these things. And when you
Crime, not crime. The sick and passed away. I'm just going to post that on the internet as well. Just going to post what I just said on the internet quickly. Do-dee-doo.
start seeing these things around, you're like, okay, so the little things that I used to care about so much when I was younger just aren't that big of a deal for me anymore, because there's other major shit that's more scary, that's more serious that I need to really worry about. As you get older and you get all these responsibilities. And you're not, I'm responsible for this household and everything that goes on in it. The health of my wife and my cat, financial responsibilities, everything, the safety of everyone. That's just all on me. That, to me, is way more important than some drama on the internet or some on me.
Or some joystick, which you spent hundreds of pounds on a joystick instead of getting your cat fucking blood tests.
Around, you're like, okay, so the little things that I used to care about so much when I was younger just aren't that big of a deal for me anymore, because there's other major shit that's more scary, that's more serious that I need to really worry about. As you get older and you get all these responsibilities, and you're not, I'm responsible for this household and everything that goes on in it. The health of my wife and my cat. As you get older and you get all that's more scary, that's more serious that I need to really worry about. As you get older and you get all these responsibilities, and you're not, I'm responsible for this household and everything that goes on in it. The health of my wife and my cat, financial responsibilities, everything, the safety of everyone. That's just all on me. That, to me, is way more important than some drama on the internet or some bullshit, someone trying to bully and say dumb shit. Who cares about that?
Oh. Interesting stuff, really, in a way.
Shit, like, that's nothing.
This is today's DSP Gaming. Today's.
Right? That's like frivolous nonsense to me now. But back in the day, that was like big deal to me. When I was in the Street Fighter community, God forbid someone talk shit about Darkside Phil, I would freak out. How dare you say something about me? Now I have to go on you and we have to get into a big internet beef about it and shit like that, right? So for me, it was just getting older, getting more mature, getting more responsibilities, getting a little bit more wise about, you know what I've really learned? You got to pick your battles, all right? And this is something that I think a lot of people don't learn until they're much older. You've got to learn to pick your battles. In life, you literally cannot get excited about everything. You can't. You can't get upset or worried about every little thing.
Where did he come out with this from? How did he start even talking about this?
You got to find the things that are more important to you and your loved ones, and those are the things you have to really focus on and care about. So I've learned to do that a lot better. Back in the day, again, every little thing I freak out about. Now I just don't give two shits. What anyone says about me, what anyone does, I don't care. I ignore it all, and I just try to sit here and make fun content for you guys, and then I have my life outside of the streams, and that's what's important to me, right? So as long as you can kind of learn that, you pick your battles, you only worry about the more important shit, that's going to be the better way to go through life, I feel, okay? He says, I'm excited for your Mario gameplay. It's nice to watch a chill stream without any drama. I've been seeing a lot less of that recently. Yeah, because, again, even if drama exists, just ignore it. There's no reason to pay any attention to it. Really. It's nonsensical bullshit. It doesn't affect anyone. Just ignore it. That's my philosophy. I don't care. I could give two shits what anyone outside the stream says about me. Why do I care? I don't care if it's some fucking detractor. I don't care if it's a restreamer. I don't care if it's another YouTuber. I don't care if it's a fucking drama queen bitch on YouTube who just wants to talk shit to try to get attention. No one. I don't care about any of them. They don't exist to me. They're like farts. They're here for a second. You get a bad whiff of the stink, and then they fly away. So, what? Do you address every fart you smell in life? When you're walking down the street and someone stinks, do you just fucking, oh my God, oh, it's horrible, something stinks, or do you just...
So he just said, I just did a Twitter's foot of them. Look. He said this.
Like personal challenges and issues in your life, how do you juggle them? I mean, as you get older, essentially you learn to handle that stuff better, okay? So for example, when I was younger, in my 20s, I would say, I got a lot of, how can I put it? I got overexcited and overdramatic and very upset about things very easily.
He doesn't do that now, though, does he?
Anger issues. I had a lot of anger issues when I was younger. I think a lot of that came through in a lot of my earlier videos, the amount of anger issues that I had. Everything was a big deal.
But not now. And then this as well.
Get to see a lot of other things that are a lot more scary. All right, as I'm getting older now, things with health, things I see people around me getting sick and passing away.
Right, yeah, do you? I'm quite loud compared to him, look. I'm quite loud, aren't I, compared to him? Fuck. Well, I suppose he's always quiet, isn't he, on his streams? But yeah, he sees people getting dead and passing away.
That are a lot more scary. All right, as I'm getting older now, you know, things with health, things I see people around me getting sick and passing away.
Right. Why am I so loud? Am I always that loud compared to him? His audio is just very low. Yeah. All right. It is always just him, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, let's discuss that. Like, so divorce coins taking a plummet. I was just telling everyone about the fucking saga of the photographs of Khat, insofar as Alt passed the photographs out today, and people reacted to them. So I got to see them today when Alt published them, and everyone got to see them on Twitter. So I was just reacting to them. Yeah. So then I opened up Darkside Phil's today and looked at him a bit, and he said this stuff. So, right, Khat Burnell lives at the Snort Fort still. The pictures do not confirm it because she's not at the Snort Fort, but she's in the same routine to the point where she's settled. She seems to not give a fuck anymore. People still like divorce coin, do they? She could just conceivably just move out from the Snort Fort to somewhere else and just say, well, I earn money, I've decided to take on a few more shifts, and I've got a place up the road. You know, she could do that. It's conceivable. But I just don't think that she could be asked. It looks like to me she's checked out mentally. And like she goes to work and she plays the computer games and she eats the food and she lives at Phil's house. But yeah, so he said there that someone had died though.
Responsibilities. And you're not, you know, I'm responsible.
Right, now he's, and also
for this household and everything that goes on in it. The health of my wife and my cat, financial responsibility.
He's talking about his wife again there, so that, like, I know you just talk about it and pretend she's there, but like either he knows about divorce coin and health coin and he's trying to play the markets himself here now, but he legit just said like someone around him died, and like no one's died, have they? Like other than like T or his auntie ages ago, who's died?
A bit wiser, you get a little bit more life experience, and you get to see a lot of other things that are a lot more scary. All right, as I'm getting older now, you know, things with health, things I see people around me getting sick and passing away.
People around me getting sick and passing away. Does that mean they've already passed away, or are they on the process of passing away? You know, I think one of his parents, I think his mom has had some sort of life-threatening illness that's like she's not going to get better from, either stroke or cancer or something like that. And he's like, you know, dealing with it behind the scenes, because he said, I'm dealing with this problem. I've had to do a lot of driving recently. That could be visits to a hospital, maybe. Potentially, maybe he had to give blood because he might be a blood donor, like a blood match. Like a lot of driving was interesting, because I thought a lot of driving might have been involving visits to a clinic or visits to a therapist or something like that. You know, maybe a relationship counsellor. But driving could conceivably, I thought it might be visiting someone, but how far would he drive on his day off to visit his parents? They're all the way in Connecticut. It doesn't seem to make sense unless they came to visit him. You know, being poorly but still able to travel, they came to visit him, or like somewhere midway. You know, some midpoint. You think it's Khat's health? Like Khat's health, you know, she doesn't look healthy, that's for sure. But getting sick and dying, specifically dying as well. Like you mentioned dying, so like I've always been firmly, like my instinct has always said, like his parents, like he talked about his parents and the inheritance again the other day, didn't he? Like his parents are of that age where they're going to have health concerns, and like, you know, Halloween trees are not real things. No, he's got the Christmas tree up with Halloween decorations on it because he's fucking nuts. It saves having to get the Christmas tree out later, so he's just going to put it up now. Right, yeah, do you? And there's going to be a January tree as well.
You start to get a little bit wiser, you get a little bit more life experience, and you get to see a lot of other things that are a lot more scary. All right, as I'm getting older now, you know, things with health, things I see people around me getting sick and passing away.
Right, yeah, getting sick and passing away, yeah. I'm on the getting sick and passing away coin. I'm on team death in the family. I am. That's what I am.
Walk past it. So that's what I do. I walk past all of it, and I continue on down the road to fun.
No.
Oh, my God. Oh, it's horrible. Something stinks. Or do you just walk past it? that's what I do. I walk past all of it, and I continue on down the road to fun, and prosperity, and chill vibes.
You disgusting, nauseating goon.
I don't run back to the fart.
Did you do the fart?
Oh, man. Oh, it's just really bad right here. Oh.
You are the fart. You can't run from it because you are the one that projects the stench. Everywhere you go, it like stinks the place up. Mushroom Kingdom Pizzeria cunt.
I received a $2 tip from Anso Kamaru. I'm 100% agreed on music for Mario Wonder. I'm near the end of the game. The music is forgettable. While it's a wonderful game and the Wonder Flower does stay fresh the whole time, I'm actually very good to hear that. The devs dropped the ball on the
I'm actually very good to hear that.
music. It's a shame. Music is a huge factor for games for me. I like, especially with Mario games. Like I said, literally.
Speaking like Jade. Sorry.
Stay fresh the whole time. I'm actually very good to hear that.
I'm actually very good to hear that.
While it's a wonderful game and the Wonder Flower does stay fresh the whole time, I'm actually very good to hear that.
I'm actually very good to hear that.
The devs dropped the ball on the music. It's a shame. Music is a huge factor for games for me. I like, especially with Mario games. Like I said, literally, I just sat here an hour ago, and I hummed 3 unique and notable Mario themes.
Hummed.
That I remember from previous Mario platformers. And how is it that I don't remember Jack from this game?
Because you were a child, and now you're an adult.
So that does suck. That it sounds like they didn't do a good job on the music. Everything.
Wait, how many times have you heard the Mario game themes? Wait, how many times have you How many times have you played the new Mario? Once, right? Once. And how many times have you played the old Mario game? Like a bajillion, a zillion. Was the theme re-released and repeated? They made a fucking song out of it that went in the charts. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Do you know when you go in that underground one, it goes da-da-da-da-da-da. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah. How come I can't remember what I fucking did yesterday? That's on you, my man. That's on you, my man. Maybe play it 1,600 times and get back to me.
All seems outstanding, right? Okay. Now, it looks like on the YouTube side of things, we do have some interesting stuff. First of all,
okay,
Grim Ripper.
It's like a telethon for charity.
Re-upped his membership for 23 months and said he has emailed me a code, and I saw it this morning. I was waiting to kind of get to this segment.
It's code. Emailed you a code. Like a secret code, and we're going to use that to communicate with each other in future. It's not a code for a game or anything. It's just I've emailed you a secret code. A equals X, B equals 2, 3 equals 5.
Talk about it. So if anyone's interested, I don't know if you guys are interested or not. Hold on.
Don't want to see that picture again. Delete that.
Grim Ripper emailed me, and let's see what he got here.
Honestly, Snood watching me now, right? Listen, the thing that other detractors don't say enough that I really wish they put across more, and next time you're on Detractor Beam, hopefully I'll be on it as well, but like, the microphone, the pop shield, it's obtuse. It's too big. It's like obscene. It just gets right in the way. And what's it doing there? Do you need a pop shield that big? Are you literally gobbing into the microphone? Like, it's not there to defend the microphone from your volleys of gob. It's there to prevent plosions when you go puh and buh. And if you're just talking in the room and you've got a normal condenser mic with like a thing on it, it's just going to be fine. It's just, you can't see your t-shirts, and you always wear them and talk about them, but you can't always see them because of this fucking thing. You fucking goon show. We're getting a top view of the head as well, but I won't critique it because every old chap goes bald at some point, aren't they?
He sent me a code. I'm just going to give it out, all right? If you purchased Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5 and you didn't pre-order it for some reason, you probably did not receive the pre-order bonuses, which I believe is like a couple of outfits. So I have a code from Grim Ripper, and thank you to Grim Ripper, to give out that pre-order bonus content for someone who maybe is playing the game but did not pre-order it, and you want that free content. You can get it right now. All right.
So it's a code. It's going to be words and letters. So maybe you just want to post that in chat.
So everyone, get ready. Here.
You're going to post it in chat.
Here's the code.
Don't. You can post it as a community post, or you can just copy and paste it in your phone into the chat.
PS5, Spider-Man 2.
Don't.
Pre-order bonus content, which is like a couple of outfits. All right.
And what are they going to do? Quickly boot up Spider-Man and open up the code. Like, give him a minute. Give him a minute. Jade's got to open up Spider-Man and get the screen out.
Right, the code is as follows.
Oh, here we go.
HJHX.
Wait, I haven't got a pen.
XRXD PJR4. Thank you, Grim Ripper, for that. I hope that someone enjoys it.
The code was deserving of a piece of body language that suggested, well, I don't know. Well, there you go. These codes these days.
R4.
These codes these days, what are you going to do? Different letters, all sorts of numbers. I didn't write the code. There you go. I'm not, don't shoot the messenger. I just delivered the code. Why did the arms come out for that?
Thank you, Grim Ripper, for that.
Thank you,
I
Grim
hope
Ripper.
That someone enjoys it. Certainly, I didn't need it.
I don't fucking need it.
The pre-order stuff. So there you go.
I didn't fucking need it. Thanks for sending it to me. I didn't fucking need it, so I just gave it out to any punter on stream. Don't bother sending me any more codes, Grim Ripper. I'm just going to hand them out on the fucking streams, you dickhead. No future codes are needed. I beg my codes off my money off my stream, and I buy the games with the money I beg. Codes I look. Maybe you could send me some more codes actually. Oh wait, Grim Ripper, come back.
Cool. Thank you, Grim Ripper, for that.
Thanks.
Continuing on, Spawn Killer with our first super chat of the day says, "I've just joined. How do you like Spider-Man? Good, love it. Great game so far. You know, we're only 3 hours in, and we just kind of getting to the open world segments, but outstanding. Great graphics, much improved gameplay elements. So far, really good."
He didn't even critique him for saying Spider-Man, not Spider-Man 2. So that's a step forward for Phil.
And looking forward to more later tonight on the late stream. Thank you for the super chat. Bloomkit with the super chat. Depends on how bad the fart stinks. Not really. Again.
Now we're back to the fart analogy from earlier. Like this. And Phil's going to take it seriously, and we're going to go there. He's busy on the keyboard over here for a minute, but we're going to go there.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Listen, for your $1 super chat, you've managed to drag me back to this fucking analogy. If I was walking around in the street and there's something smellis, and I'm not going to go over there and smell it because it's bad smellis, and I can't even remember what that's an analogy for. I think it was an analogy for problems in your life. That was it. You've got problems in your life and shit's going wrong. And instead of making a big scene and a big song and dance and having a tantrum, I want the Wolverine. Where is the Wolverine? I should have had the Wolverine. Instead of that, the Wolverine is now a stinky fart and I'm not going to go near it and fuck you and I'm just ignoring everything and fuck you. And that's good advice. And someone said, it depends how stinky the fart is. And the problem is, it doesn't. No one really wants to smell the farts. But the analogy is bad because really the problem that Phil was facing is not simply that something is bad and smells bad. It's that things are drawn to his attention, that his behaviour is bad, and that like the Wolverine thing, as an example, is something he wanted he couldn't have, so he's cross about. Like, it's you that's the fart smell.
You can choose to move. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I understand what you're saying. Sometimes you have to address the fart because it affects everyone around you and it's not going away. But in general, for the most part, if someone's just being nasty or toxic or stupid, just ignore it and move on.
So you're saying just don't watch your streams then? That's your advice in general? Because you've been nasty and toxic and stupid in the entirety of this little question and answer session.
There's no point to even bring it up or address it or waste your breath on it. Who gives a shit, right? I'm so busy right now with the new releases, hot new games. I'm so busy with these streams and the fun we're having
man meat
on them. And quite frankly, I'm busy with my real life behind the scenes as well.
Oh, because you had to take all that styrofoam to the tip the other day.
I don't have time for bullshit. I don't have time for that nonsense. Just ignore it all, right? Who gives a shit? Okay.
It feels weird because he's saying it, doesn't it? The man who spent the last 15 years going on and on about bullshit is now just suddenly like the oracle of how to be calm and peaceful during the face of trolling. Just ignore it. I don't even fucking... To be honest, I don't even think about it. I've received a $1 tip. Well, that's a troll tip. I'm not going to read that. I just don't even bother with it.
Continuing on.
I mean, he literally banned someone just like 5 minutes ago and said, like, you're being rude to me now. You've got to go. Like...
Grim Ripper gifted 5 memberships to the channel.
Whoa.
Thank you, Grim Ripper. How nice of you this morning. You're gifting stuff to the community.
Yeah.
In droves.
In droves.
5 memberships. So congratulations to the following.
Droves.
Mint, Hybrid, Raul, Mango Pimp, and Plumber Who Fixes Leaks.
So one of those, I'm going to say one of those was definitely a detractor. Now, it could have been Plumber Who Fixes Leaks, or it could have been Mango Pimp. Oh, it's got to this level now.
I hope you all enjoy your gifted memberships. Be sure to thank Grim Ripper for the gift this morning. And then we've got No 925 Fuxcos. Fuxcos? That's an interesting spelling. It maybe he wanted to say fuckas or fuxas, but it says Fuxcos. Anyway, thank you for the membership. They became a member this morning. That's why.
How many years has he been on the internet? And people's usernames and the different spellings still elude him.
I'm saying that name repeatedly. Very interesting.
Just say the first bit and just say, you know, whatever the, like, no 9 to 5
nice.
says.
Okay.
And just move on.
Turtle Dude, we have Spider-Man on performance mode. Of course we do. It's running at a silky smooth 60 frames.
Dickhead.
So absolutely, we've got that on performance mode.
Of course we've got it.
Sure.
You fucking idiot. Of course we've got it on performance mode. What do you think I'm doing here with my PS5? Sat here not playing on performance mode. Next question. Jesus.
Cypress says, you know, I wish everyone had the same mindset as you. Unfortunately, some YouTubers who are older still don't get it. They contribute to embarrassing YouTube as a platform. Oh, I know.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, don't get me started. Grandad, tell me about when the Germans bombed the fucking cities in the war. Don't you get me started. I mean, that's my generation's thing. I don't know what the next, maybe it will be. Grandad, tell me about when Nintendo bought Sonic. Like, oh my God, here we go.
Trust me, I know. I hear about it all the time. You know, there's documentaries about this kind of stuff. It's like some people just can't figure out that if you just stay on your own stuff and focus on that, you don't pay attention to the white noise bullshit, you're going to be way more happier in life, and you're going to find yourself outside of all the realms of all this nonsensical drama. I hate to say it. There's a difference between me and those people, all right? I have a viewer base that likes to come by and actually hang out with me and enjoy my content for what it is, at face value. True, there's a lot of hate watchers and the like, but I actually have a legit viewer base that comes and enjoys and supports. If I just focus on that viewer base, I will stay successful. Sadly, there are YouTubers out there that all they have is a hater base. They've lost their positive viewer base. Over the years, it's gone. So to them, if all they can get for attention is drama, they have to stay in the drama. They have to constantly address it. They'll claim they won't, and then they go right back to it. And they can't avoid it. They can't help it. This is the only time they even get any attention is when they get into more drama or nonsense and toxicity. All right? For me, I prosper when I stay out of the drama. If anything, what I've noticed and found over the years is although you can get temporary attention for being involved in some kind of drama, it is incredibly short-lived, and it doesn't benefit whatsoever. Just a couple cases in point.
Yo, Phil, I like the way you do your streams. Some other YouTubers can be a bit toxic, can't they? Anyway, here's a couple of bucks. Have a nice day. Oh! Oh, wait. I could talk about this for an hour. You know that fucking Markiplier? That fucking Markiplier. That Markiplier's such a cunt, you know. I had that Markiplier. When Markiplier first got going, he was watching me. I was doing games. And Markiplier was just this fucking little divot with his little Minecraft pussy hole Markiplier. You just heard PewDiePie. PewDiePie said the fucking N-word on the internet. He's moved to Sweden with his missus. It's all right for PewDiePie. I tell you, when I were a lad, YouTubers had fucking girth, mate. We could measure it with fucking receipts. You know, what do you know about Street Fighter 2? What do you know about Street Fighter 2? You fucking... Phil on a bench in a park, drunk, vomit down himself, Mushroom Kingdom Pete. Oh, I've just burned my microphone with my reefer. That's bad. Mushroom King. I'm gonna have to smoke that as well. It's gonna have plastic on it. Mushroom Kingdom T-shirt. Barf down him on a park bench, drunk, gin bottle. As people walk past, he goes, "What do you know about Street Fighter? What do you know about Street Fighter?" I should be this one. I should be this one. What do you know about Street Fighter? Shuriken. Hadouken. Fucking lag. Fucking lag. Like, you can just imagine him, can't you? Like, as a tramp, just ranting the things that he rants about. Like, I could almost imagine, like, you know, at the end of stream, like, you know, the camera pans back and this is just cardboard. Like, behind it there is no house and nothing. And like, he's just got a chair that sits on the floor, a mobile phone to run the stream off. He's not doing it on keyboards or nothing. Like, just cardboard set up. He's in the street somewhere.
I've had some really...
One day that will be the case.
Viral tweets. I've had some really viral tweets.
I've seen the Colosseum in Rome. Been up the Eiffel Tower. You've had really viral tweets. I mean, I'm not saying I'm worldly wise and well travelled. You know, I'm just saying, like, you know, I was just thinking of some things that I could say that have been really good. Like, you know, but like viral tweets. I've had some really viral tweets. Yeah, I've had a fucking pizza with fish and anchovies and pineapple on it. So, a viral tweet, really? What was the outcome? What was the payoff? Did it get you anywhere? Did anyone that retweeted that tweet actually know who you are or what was going on? Or was it just a thing that happened? How many viral tweets happen a day?
Okay? I've had tweets that got ridiculous amounts of views, millions of views, you know, likes, retweets, and all of that. Guess how much those tweets have benefited me and my business?
Nothing. Probably nothing. Because you failed to capitalize on it then, yeah? Because what you could have done is literally, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but you could have replied to each and every one of them with, "Thanks for retweeting me. My name is DSP. I've got a gaming channel. Great to see your tweets. Thanks." Like, something like that. Or underpinning these days, what you would do is, the tweet's starting to go viral. Underneath it, you would write your own comment and pin it there in some way. I think you can, and be like, you know, main comment here. Please check out my channel or something. Yeah, something like that. Or on top of it, what you could do is you could write. I know this is probably against Twitter terms of service, but can't they have a bot that like automatically replies to people with "Thanks for tweeting," you know, "Thanks for atting me," "Thanks because I'm in the at," Like, you could probably capitalize on it in some way. And this is untrue, by the way. He was saying he did capitalise on it in some ways. It just seems weird that like he should use it as a... Like, he obviously was sort of showing off about it, but now he's also agreeing with us that it just means nothing. It's weird, isn't it? Like, also YouTube views, they're important in some ways because you're doing YouTube, but you're not going to, at the end of it all, like when you're like when they're reading your eulogy, I mean for Phil maybe, but like they're not going to mention how many views you got on YouTube. It doesn't, even if you're a fucking influencer, they're probably going to talk about some of the things you did in your life and your passions. They might say that you were a big, you know, big chuffer on YouTube, but they're not going to say, and they in total amassed 2,300,046 views, and they're not going to have the number of likes, and at the funeral there's not going to be encouraged to click like. If there's any tipping going on, it goes to the church. No, it doesn't really matter, does it?
A nice big goose egg 0.
Yeah.
Because none of that translates into anything significant. It's just people talk about you for a little bit and then it's gone. It doesn't matter.
Gone.
It's flash in the pan nonsense. It
Like all the tips that go into fucking WWE champions.
doesn't mean anything. It doesn't amount to anything productive. It, you know, the whole idea of online attention, drama, and social media stuff.
Yeah, but Phil, you're an online person. What you're basically saying is, what he's really saying, you know, reading between the lines, is everything he does in his life adds up to fucking nothing, because the money that gets filtered in, he spends it like that and it's gone. So, you know, he's back where he started every day, just on the fucking set. And like, it's almost like Zen Buddhism at this point. You know, why are you raking that garden? Well, the garden needs to be raked. And like, you know, we're just going to do that. Just going to live a life. How can you tell anyone what to do? There's no religion here. I've got myself a Halloween tree, and I'm going to keep doing this.
It's short-lived nonsense. It doesn't amount to anything. So,
People still talk about him wanking on stream every now and then.
so unless you're someone who's going to constantly live in the drama, like this is you, this is your existence online, is to constantly be causing controversy and drama, and that's your existence on the internet. If that's what you want, then I've seen some people be very successful in that. But that's a hell of a way to live. It's certainly not a way I would want to live,
It's a Keemstar rant in 2023.
especially because you can essentially start hurting yourself and others around you doing that kind of shit. I'm not that kind of person. I just want to sit here and enjoy video games. I don't want to hurt anyone around me for personal gain. A lot of people don't care about that. They don't have a conscience. You know, they can deal with that. I can't. So, for me, I just want to sit here and enjoy games and have fun, and that's what it's all about.
Is he? I think he might be on cocaine, right? Because people say, oh, Phil's not on cocaine, right? But he's jigging his fucking leg a lot. He's sweating. It's in the morning. And someone said to him, I like the way you do your thing. Other YouTubers are a bit, yeah, but you're cool. And he's turned it into a fucking epic monologue about his ethics. Like, it feels like he's on drugs to me.
So, you know, you're right. There's YouTubers out there, they can't help it. The moment someone
But I do a lot of talking.
else says something negative about them, that's it. Big expose. We're doing a stream about it today. We're gonna slam that person. We're gonna debunk them. We're gonna attack them. We're gonna have a fucking content cop expose on them. They can't help it. It's drama, drama, drama. That's why I will stay out of that shit. You know. Okay, I received a $20 tip from 1 Minute Man. Thank you so much, 1 Minute Man.
Who doesn't really exist.
As always.
Or is someone that's given Phil a lot of money and he's decided to divvy it out himself. Like, why am I giving you all this silly money behind the scenes? Why don't I just give you a fucking £1,000 in PayPal once a month, and then you have that, and then you read it out in $20 increments every day, or however you want it. It's a bit weird.
For your support of my content on YouTube, no matter where I go and what I do, I really, really appreciate that. Let's get a nice animation for you of me having my head shrunk. I love this animation. And thank you so much, 1 Minute Man. Let's get that up there. Get this up to 4.
It's like he's driving a spaceship. You know, when he gets a tip, it's like he's driving a spaceship. It's like he's got to go onto the navigation panel and then over here enter it into the tips panel, and like it's like he's in charge of a cockpit. You know, he's in the center and there's like all these things around him. Captain Phil.
$3 in tips. Cool.
Cool.
And
I
received a $2 tip
received a $2 tip
from Dan the Man. Have you
Dan
had
the Man.
pizza flavored cereal? Okay, I have never had pizza flavored cereal. I have had pizza flavored,
pizza.
like crunchy air puffed snacks. Guess what?
What? Pizza flavored crunchy air puffed snacks.
You'll never get. I'm gonna let everyone guess.
What?
In the chat? If I had pizza flavored air puffed snacks, what do you think they were? What
Pepperoni.
branding did they have?
Doritos.
What
What do
intellectual
you mean?
property were they associated with?
The Turtles.
Let's see what people have to say in the chat.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I want you guys to guess. Derek got it right away. He said Ninja Turtles. He nailed it.
But they're famous for eating pizza.
Ninja Turtles. Back in the day.
And you like them.
Ninja Turtles were everything. They were on everything. They had a fucking pudding pie with green splooge center. I'm serious. It was disgusting. They said it was the ooze from the movies. It looked gross. Green splooge.
How many of them did you eat?
Inside of a pie. And they had pizza flavored puffed snacks. All it was like a puffed rice or corn snack doused in this like powder.
I think I probably ate them myself. I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, you know, I wanted turtles and stuff. I was a kid. Like,
and they said it was pizza. It tasted nothing like pizza. It was odd. It was bizarre. Very bizarre flavoring. I can't even really describe it. Like what it was. It was just, it wasn't tomato, but it wasn't cheese. It definitely had some herb.
Maybe like a mix.
You could see it had a little herb, like maybe it had oregano or something.
Oregano?
Yeah, I think it did. I think it legit had oregano in it or something like that.
In England, we call that oregano.
It had like little green flecks in it, but it didn't taste...
Little green flecks.
Anything like pizza at all.
Maybe it was turtles. Maybe it tasted like turtles.
It was very, very weird.
You fucking...
So...
Kept that with him all these years.
By the way, I'm smelling food right now.
What's this? Someone's made a pie. Someone's walked past the window with a pie, and Phil is just up and he's gone. The cartoon scent is in the, you know, that line of smoke they draw in the cartoon, the line of scent that drifts until it reaches the cat's nose, and then the nose goes up and it follows the scent of pie, and then it's been lured by the pie. Like, what? Where have you gone?
Someone's cooking out there.
Someone's cooking outside. Well, it's not you, is it? They're not cooking for you, and it's not you. So, like, you don't have to be like, what the fuck is this? Someone outside is cooking. They've got a barbecue, maybe? Is that your guess? I don't know. Someone's on a barbecue out there. Maybe, hang on, wait, everyone. Stream's off. I might have to go next door. They've got a barbecue, and I've got meat in the fridge that I want them to cook. I mean, what are you on about? What's going on? I mean, I would like to go to a barbecue with my neighbours. Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, I don't eat meat, but but at random like this, just crash the party. Someone's cooking. Is that Homer Simpson or something? Like, what is happening?
What the heck? It's a heavy garlic smell.
There's a heavy garlic smell. No, Phil, that's your breath.
Now you guys know me. I'm Italian.
It's that T-shirt. You're not Italian, right? You're just not Italian. Listen, I say this a lot in chats, and people might think it comes across racist in chats, but listen, Phil is half Italian, half Polish style, European style mix or whatever, yeah? What he means is his parents came over from Europe to America, and... or not his parents, sorry, like the generations before, and they probably were Jewish, Polish Jewish, right? But with the bit of the mix, instead of saying like instead of Phil going on the streams and saying, I'm most likely, if we do my DNA on DNA@ancestry.com, come out Polish Jewish, he doesn't want to say that because he thinks there's connotations. So instead he clings on to the bit of Italian that he can claim through his mom's, nan's, sister's, auntie, or something, right? So he's like, I'm all Italian, I'm Italian, but he's not Italian, not at all.
Nose, I'm like Toucan Sam following my nose to the freaking, Fruit Loops. I smell garlic. I'm like, I gotta follow my nose.
And earlier you said if there were fart smells, you would avoid them. But now...
to the garlic. It smells good. I love garlic. I don't know where it's coming from. It's heavy garlic smell coming from outside.
It's your mouth. What it is you don't always smell your own breath while you're talking, but you must have done a burp or a belch or something, and it came out and it just lingered in the air and you smelt it. It'll be your own breath, Phil. That'll be your own garlic breath. Or maybe under your arms or something like that. That'll be one of your own body odours. It might be the chair, it might be the floor, your feet, something like that. My prediction on that is it wasn't somebody cooking something outside. It's like, it's nearly winter now. Are people really outside cooking garlic treats? Like, is it? His mom is half Italian. Yeah, it's like in America, it's not so cool to say I'm a Polish Jewish descent. just because by merit of the cool factor, because the Sopranos are Italian and they're cool and stuff like that. I'm not being racist. I'm saying that Phil is, and that's why he would ignore his heritage and instead lean on the smaller part that he could like. In fact, I'm a bit like that because quite often I say about, oh, well, I've got like a 16th of Indian blood in me or an 8th Indian or whatever, like in 16th. But I probably ignore the, like, you know, the more normal day-to-day Anglo-Saxon / Irish part, maybe. Maybe I should explore that heritage a bit more sometimes. But anyway, what am I doing going on about ancestry and me? I'm just saying he's not fucking Italian.
Very weird. Anyway, all right. So, I saw a couple statements I wanted
It's more likely he's a Jew and he smelled gas.
to address, but they scrolled off the screen. Let me see if I can find them.
I just set that up. I wasn't playing for it. Listen, I wasn't playing for it. I didn't, but it came up. When I said those things, and then at the end I thought in my brain, he's a Jew and he smelled gas. And then, oh. So that was a good joke, but it's not anti-Semitic. Listen, it's not anti-Semitic. Anti-Phil.
Let's see. Kazumi is wondering, could I do a separate stream trying Super Mario Brothers Wonder online? Isn't it the same game except it's co-op? And a lot of people are saying that it makes the game more chaotic and weird, which is why you have those characters that can't die, because it actually makes you... You know what reminds me of Battletoads? How Battletoads is actually a harder game when you play 2-player than it is single-player. So I don't know if I'm too interested in playing the game online, quite frankly.
Look, honestly, Phil, you don't have to make a funny excuse. You can just say to them, no, I'm not playing co-op. I never play co-op. We all know why, and just move on.
Kazumi. Cyber says you've done a good job with the last few months ignoring all the drama. Keep it up. I will. No, really. I mean, take a look. I'm not even kidding you. Take a look.
It's like you rev the engine again. Now it's like one of those wind-up mouse toys. We used to have a kid like this at our school, right? And other people, there was a couple of people who used to bully him, and what they used to do is they used to mess him about. And I used to think, you're winding him up, and they're doing it deliberately though. They used to mess him about, you know, pat him on the back of the head or something, or you know, do something silly, and then he'd get eggier and eggier, and then eventually he'd go. And like, it's like a wind-up toy. It's like with Phil, you just send a little tip, say this thing, and now he's off again.
At the last several months, like the summertime, ever since Street Fighter 6 came out, right? The summertime till now, and how different that's been.
Big ups, Blonde Carcinogen. That's an interesting name. Hello, nice to have you here. Little blue hat.
Staying out of all the nonsensical drama. Every fucking moron who tried to pull me into their fucking vortex of shit. And I ignored them all.
He literally mentioned the vortex, so that's detractor jargon. So here's an aspect of it I'm going to overstate in stupid intellectualism instead of just saying it simply. But argot jargon, like they're features of English that exist within subsects, and like when you try and integrate, one of the first things as a human that you kind of pick up on is that people speak, or many things, but people speak differently, and you can choose to use the jargon or argot. Like, what is argot and what's jargon? I think jargon's like, hang on, argot is the jargon or slang of a particular group or class, so it's the same thing. Jargon is specialized words or expressions used by a profession group that are difficult for others to understand. So like to the outsider, it's like in-group and out-group psychology in a way covers this. To the outsider, you know, don't know these words, but then you start using the words and you're part of the group and you're saying the words and you learn the jargon, and like it could be something like surgeons all know what a something kind of knot is, or whatever, but like the feature of it here that I'm bringing to our attention is that for Phil to say the word vortex, it's actually the common parlance of the detractor community, and so it shows that he is consuming that media on a regular enough basis for the word to be part of his vocabulary now. So he's consuming the detractor community content and now regurgitating the jargon. Like, I mean, I know he always has been in a way, but it's just so clear, isn't it? It's so weird. It's almost like an attempt to be part of the group, subconsciously, I think. You know, Phil knows that they're watching, And he makes a lot of this for them, really, doesn't he, I suppose?
Fuck yourselves. I want nothing to do with any of you. You go.
Yeah, exactly. It's about, go fuck yourselves. It's detractors. They're on his mind. And, yeah, okay, I got it.
Staying out of all the nonsensical drama. Every fucking moron who tried to pull me into their fucking vortex of shit, and I ignored them all, and I said, go fuck yourselves. I want nothing to do with any of you. You go over there with your toxic lives and leave me the fuck out of it so I can do my own thing. And look, everything's been good. Content's been good, right? We've been having a good time here as a community. No drama, no nonsense. Don't have to address nothing. Fuck all them. What do they have to do with me? Nothing. They can't do shit. They can't bring me down. Ignore them. So, I'm happy. I'm actually happy that I stayed out of it, and I continue to do so.
What do you mean stayed out of it? Like, you do stuff, they critique you. That's the loop. Like, there's no staying out of it. Like, you were never, like, in it, really. You are it.
I have never tried the pizza flavored Pringles Goldfish. I don't think so. I don't recall having pizza flavored.
I love the way we jump from, like, in these question and answer sessions. One of the things I do love so much is the way that we sort of have 3 conversations going at once, and like we jump between the 2. So we can have the serious bit about the trolls and the detractors. We can have a serious bit about like somebody that might have died in my family, and then I need to reflect on pizza flavored Pringles and whether I've eaten them and what they might have tasted like. And then we can go back to some other stuff. Like, I just love the way that we bounce around between the topics.
Pringles. My favorite Pringles were always sour cream and onion. I found them a very craveable flavor.
Good. I'm glad that I've learned that. I'll put it on your Christmas list, you fucking idiot. Like, facts about your favourite kind of crisp. Like, if you were doing a cooking show and you were talking about, foods, I mean, the conversation has started up, I suppose, but to impart your favoured Pringle flavour, like, for that to be on the top of your mind as an entertainer, to say, hey, here's an opportunity for me to cheer people along in their lives by telling them what my favourite flavour of Pringles is. Like, it's just not going well, is it, really? It's just really not going that well.
Goldfish also says, I grew up with
barbecue, obviously. Obviously, barbecue.
Italian friends, and we would joke, instead of bringing apples, they'd bring garlic to eat. Oh, it's not a joke. You eat the whole garlic clove raw. You just go, just like it's an apple. You just bite right into it. Or onion, a raw onion too, like, and crunchy. Yeah, Italians will do that all the time. It's absolutely delicious. Good.
No. I had the fortune of visiting Italy, and I didn't see anybody eating a raw onion like it was an apple. It's not the norm in Italy to just eat raw onions like that. I don't think.
For your heart.
How does he know? He's never been.
Derek found it. They were called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza Crunch-a-Bungas. Oh my god, Crunch-a-Bungas. Crunch-a-Bungas.
I think he's laughing and doing this, yeah? Covering his face. Touching the eye, of course, but covering the face. And he leant off camera to do the laugh because he's like, Derek found it. And it's nice that Derek found it and it's funny, but part of Phil is thinking, oh my god, Derek is a nutcase. I mentioned my favourite crisps from some years ago, and he spent the last 40 minutes researching them on the internet so he could bring it to stream. What is he doing with his life?
Of course they were called that. Yikes.
Yikes. Let's just move on.
What's the weirdest food I've ever eaten before?
So he doesn't want to, like, Derek's just spent a lot of time researching this and bring it to the attention, and he gets a yikes, and we move on. Like, very dismissive.
What's the weirdest food I ever eaten before? Says Grim Ripper. Oh man,
the eye's getting it now. The eye's getting it.
Food. That's a tough question. What's something that I ate and I absolutely did not like? I mean, let's be honest. That oxtail soup that I had, what was it? It was supposed to be from the Vietnamese restaurant. That straight up tasted like ass.
He just said it was supposed to be from the Vietnamese restaurant. Is that to say, Phil, that you eat some foods and pretend that they're takeaway foods, when in fact you just... Today we got this and this and this from the Vietnamese restaurant, and to make it look like we got more, I'll put some soup in a cup and say I got that as well. Is that what happened? It was supposed to be from the Vietnamese restaurant. Why wasn't it actually from the Vietnamese restaurant? The testicle dish. Do you know what? When they do eating the things on celebrity... I bet they're not all on the internet now, are they? Because like, it got bad, didn't it? And they decided to fuck them off. But the eating challenges. Who's the best on the eating challenges? Jordan was insane, wasn't she? Jordan was fucking insane.
Paddy Power Bingo.
Katie Price. She was just like, put it in front of me, I will consume it. I don't care. I've swallowed worse. Like, she was just insane. She's good though, isn't she? I don't even know who she is. Fern McCann. Hang on. Let's find out who Fern McCann is. I mean, I remember watching these things on the tennis, but I don't know who the people are. Like some of them in it. English model and TV personality. Fern McCann's baby daughter Flinty is all smiles on first holiday. She was in Only Way of Essex, and she's just had a babies. So I'm not getting married to her. Mainly because of the recent babies. The Only Way of Essex thing as well, though. Fern McCann was on The Only Way of Essex. But I did quite like her. She seemed to do a good job there of eating that spider. So, congratulations, Fern McCann, on your new baby. Well done for you. Back to this man.
Like, it smelled, and the one sip I took was absolutely revolting. It was like you licked the butt cheeks of the fucking ox. So I don't know what they were thinking with that.
Right, listen, in England we have oxtail soup, and it comes in tins, and it's one of the regular flavours. We have tomato, chicken, vegetable, oxtail soup. Like, it's one of the normal flavours. It's like crisps. Not many people still go for the beef crisps, but in England we have cheese and onion, salt and vinegar, ready salted. Beef is one of the main. It was one of the beef and onion, one of the main flavours. Like, oxtail soup is a standard regular thing. You get it in tins. It's like just a normal food. There's nothing like wee about it. It's just normal food.
That's supposed to be good.
Obviously, I'm not.
I'm trying to think what
as
else.
a vegan, I'm like, it's a horrible byproduct of an animal subjugation industry, and we shouldn't be eating it. But you know, as a normal diner, I think feels weird about, like, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? Oxtail soup. The weirdest thing I've ever eaten is probably a moth, I would say. Maybe like on this level now, talking about bugs and stuff, I've eaten a moth by choice. What else have I eaten that's weird? Duck neck. I don't know, like snails. Yeah, I've had snails. Good shout. Why what? Why a duck neck, or why snails, or why anything? I just, you know, when someone asked him what he ate that was weird, or the moth, probably why the moth. Like, I don't know, we were wasted, we were drunk, and like the moth flew in, and like, oh, there's a moth, and I was just like, oh fuck it, and I just grabbed it and ate it. I just ate it. No reason, no real thought behind it. You know, we'd come back after a night out. There was about 6 or 7 of us. Like, we were smoking and drinking, and we were in the house, and like, you know, in the lounge, and like this moth flew in by my mate, and I just grabbed hold of it and ate it. I just fucking ate it. Don't always eat them, but I, you know, on that occasion, I just thought, just eat it. Yeah, Minky eats them. I love moths, actually. Moths are one of my favourite things. I don't tend to eat them in the wild. I tend to just look at them and think they're pretty. It wasn't a massive one. It was only a little moth, and I just grabbed it and ate it. It was like, get rid of that. Fucked it off. Bit of extra protein. I used to watch a lot of Bear Grylls. I don't know. Homemade chips with oxtail soup in the winter. There you go, you see, look. Oxtail soup is a lovely thing, yeah. My dad used to like all that sort of shit as well, right? My dad... there's a concept in Britain called nose to tail eating. In fact, I'm missing out on some culinary adventures. I feel like doing a series called A Vegan Eats, where, as you know, I'm vegan, but I can eat whatever the fuck I want whenever I want. It's not going to kill me. And like, there's some really cool restaurants that I've never, now I'm precluded from, but nose to tail eating, London. There's a famous restaurant with a particular name, St. John, that's it. So the point of St. John, right? Let's get a better view on that. The point of St. John is nose to tail eating, and you can start to guess what's going to happen here. Is you don't want to waste any of the bits and pieces, do you? So like, we cook out of the snout, and we cook out of the this, and we cook out of that. Where's the fucking... You'd think they would have the damn menu on the thing, wouldn't you? I don't want merchandise. I want the menu. View menus, there we go. Lunch menu. Grilled quail and aioli, which is just a straight up thing, isn't it? kohlrabi, which is like a spinachy sort of thing. Brown shrimp and white cabbage. Brown shrimps are probably not considered the best shrimp, are they? Maybe, I don't know. Crispy pig skin, radishes and roast shallots. So crispy pig skin is just like pork scratchings, isn't it? But like we're eating the pig skin here, look, on the posh menu. Potted beef. Potted beef is not like the steak. It's, you get loads of different bits and you make it up into like a buttery sort of thing, and you put it in a little pot, and it's like, then you scrape it out and it's like a sort of pate sort of stuff. So potted beef, yeah, that'd be nice. But I mean, obviously I'm vegan, I'll be like, oh, I don't eat cows, but I still thought it, I used to eat it, it was still tasted nice to me, I still used to eat it. Nowadays it probably tastes very strongly of beef and stuff, and I'd probably be like, oh, this is a weird taste because I haven't eaten it in so long. But potted beef. But you notice we're on a posh London restaurant, but we're eating the potted beef, sort of thing. Pickled mackerel, roast bone marrow and parsley salad. So bone marrow salad there. You can have your carrots and horseradish, a fish with green sauce, grey mullet, roast squash and goat's curd. Guinea fowl, trotter and prune. That's listed there as a dish, £30 on the main menu. Guinea fowl, I know what a guinea fowl is, so I assume I'm getting maybe fillets. I don't know, maybe I'm getting the whole fowl. I don't know. I'm also getting some trotter, which is the pig's trotter, isn't it? So I'm expecting they're going to bring that out like a fucking pig's trotter to make the point. Or they might do the posh restaurant bit and take it all off the bone and turn it into a nice velouté sauce or something, but they probably won't. They'll probably just like make the point. And prune as well, which is not the most popular sounding fruit on the menu, is it? Prune. Calves liver, turnips and anchovy. Quite posh actually, calves liver, but we're going for a different cut, aren't we, than the standard normal cuts. Plaice and tartar sauce, faggots and butter beans. So anyway, the point I'm making here is that my dad used to like all this sort of stuff as well. Like the at Christmas dinner, he would have the the neck off the turkey, so just and stuff like that. And as a young lad growing up, I've eaten all different weird stuff that you might consider a bit weird, but it's not that weird, is it? Like oxtails or pheasants or grouse or what have you. I've had rabbit a few times, actual rabbits, with the ears. I've had pheasants, stuff like that, all that sort of game menu, and then like the bits and pieces off it as well. I've had a few hearts. I've eaten heart a few times. Tripe, things that don't sound so nice. Haggis, like proper haggis. I've eaten all that sort of stuff, so I don't know how weird food would get to be like, what's the weirdest food you've eaten? But I tell you what I haven't done is I've not been out to places like Thailand and Vietnam and stuff and had like, cockroaches on a stick or anything like that, or outside of my ballpark like that. But any time that I've been into a restaurant that's like of a different, I don't know, I've been in Lebanese and Chinese and, Indian and Thai restaurants, and if there's something that I don't recognise on the menu and I think that sounds exotic and different, I might choose it because I'm not averse to different foods. What does tripe taste like? A bit horrible, really. Not very nice. In my experience, a bit chewy and a bit like, I don't know why people are going on about it's nice. It's not. It's like it tastes like you would imagine it tasted, a bit like chewy and tripey, like a bit sort of earthy for a white, chewy. It's texture that's a problem to me. The same with the snails, although I did eat a few of them when I was in France, but chewy things like that. Like oysters. I don't like oysters, full stop. It's too horrible and slimy, and like tripe's the inside of the stomach, I think, like the inner lining of the stomach or something like that. And then they like soak it in something to make it more. It's like if you get like I think certain like things like octopus, they like soak them, don't they, to make sure they're more edible, more pliable. I think it depends how you cook it as well. Like with the squid, if you give it a flash fry, you get a nice juicy piece of eating, and if you cook it for a long time, like stew it, you get a nice juicy piece of eating. But if you, obviously not because I'm vegan, but back in the day sort of thing. But if you cook it in the middle, it gets tough. So some things can be the way you eat them. I used to eat a lot of mussels. I'd be quite happy to eat my way through a big bowl of mussels. Yeah. Your grandma used to put loads of vinegar on tripe. Yeah, it's like one of these things that like, it's like jelly deals as well, right? I've eaten jelly deals and I expected them to actually taste nice because people go on about them, but they don't. They fucking taste horrible. Again, very earthy and like not like a pickled bit of fish, but And I guess people get used to what they like. Like, you know, people get used to what they fed and what they get used to. But tripe for me is not for me. And I'm open-minded about food, like, have always been. That's why I'm so open-minded that I became vegan. But back in the day, yeah, I'd just eat fucking anything, like, and I'd look forward to it as well. You know, if you were going to a restaurant and they said, oh, they've shot a fox and that's going to be on the menu, I'd be like, oh, great, fox cutlets, get them down me. I mean, I think I've eaten squirrel. I think once. I think I might have eaten squirrel. Can't remember now. And especially if you go abroad, like, you know, I went to places abroad where you're like, oh, do they have a horse on the menu? Like, they eat horse here, or I'll have a horse steak then. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think in France I've eaten horse. Cheval. I think I've done that. We saw brains in the supermarket, but we didn't buy and eat them. That's one thing I didn't do. But I saw a brain in the supermarket. And it depends on your culture, doesn't it, as well? Because, like, a lot of seafood, when you step back from it and look at it, it's, like, fucking weird. It's like you just drag that up from a bucket off the seafloor and now you're going to eat it. Like, even all, like, prawns are like worms from the sea. But, yeah. And it depends how you eat it as well. Like, you know, sometimes I've had strange sounding ingredients, but they come as part of a thing and it's, like, on the pizza, so to speak, and you don't notice it. Like, oh, that had that in it, did it? Weird. But I don't know how weird, yeah. I think I've eaten the smelly durian fruit as well once. My memory's not very good for, like, did I definitely do this or not?
That I might have had that's disgusting. See, the thing is, I usually avoid things that gross me out. Like, I've seen oysters. I've never tried them because they look disgusting to me. I don't want to try that and be grossed out.
And the thing is, you still got to try it. You still got to, like, because you don't know. Like, oysters might have tasted like fucking Cadbury's Bourneville chocolate, like, going down. Like, I don't know. So I did what everyone told me and then put it in my mouth and, like, oh, I don't like that. I'll still eat it because I'm like, you know, it's not going to kill me. Like, it might not taste nice, but I can still eat it. Like, get over that. But maybe it's an acquired taste. Just not for me, though, yeah. And now I'm vegan. I'm like, yeah, definitely no. But, like, okay, so the thing with the veganism is, like, there's still this one place I want to visit, right? And it's going to sound nuts. But there's a place in Spain, and they have this, like, barbecue, and they do these steaks. And, like, they're, like, big chunks of meat, and they put them on, and they, like, cook them for, like, 8 to 10 hours, and that's all that's on the menu, that and bread. And, like, you know, it's a very little rustic, special little restaurant. And, like, you know, if I went there with my dad or something, I'd probably just have that. Because I'm not going to sit there and just have the bread and, like, you know, this once-in-a-lifetime dining experience, maybe. For little things like that, I could consider, like, bending the rules, I guess. But overall, I'm like, absolutely not, don't eat the animals, this is bad. But we're talking about unique dining experiences. And then the other one is the special restaurants like Heston Blumenthal and people like that do the molecular gastronomy and, like, you know, make special dishes that, again, like a once-in-a-lifetime deal. Yeah, I'd like to try that. Yeah, I guess the difference is I'd like to try the food rather than sit there eating it all the time every day. So I'm open to eating virtually anything, but I'm not going to do what that lady did and eat the spider. No, I'm not having that.
You know, probably years ago, remember it was like 3 or more years ago, I was doing those disgusting flavored Skittles, the ones that they're surprise flavors.
This man, right? I can't get this across enough. This man, maybe we should do this on stream actually with the jelly beans. This man, okay, he ate surprise flavoured Skittles. He got paid to eat them on stream, tips to eat the Skittles, and he decided, I've had enough. Although I've had the tips, I will not be eating any more Skittles. Sorry about that, no refunds on the tips. He couldn't even follow through with the eating of the Skittles. Insane. We did the jelly beans game once, me and my family, and, you know, the horrible jelly beans and the nice jelly beans, yeah, and the ones that have got you can't tell. And I will eat all the jelly beans, and you will not see any flicker of emotion on my face, none, about any of the jelly beans. It's fine. It just doesn't bother me. I can just totally do it. It's just a piece of information.
And some of them were tasty, and some of them were supposed to be like barf, and I literally, that's some of the nastiest stuff I've ever tasted. Those Skittles made me barf.
The thing is, when you eat them, like the game was, can you tell if you eat one and then everyone sat there in the can you tell if it's a good one or a bad one, hey, sort of thing. And, like, no, you can't tell because I'm not going to have to make a physical reaction because it tastes a bit funny. because like I know the game is that it's going to taste funny, and I just don't react. So like, I've eaten a chili once at the dinner table. We're at this Indian restaurant with the family, and they had a bowl of chilies on the table, like literally like a bowl of chilies. And my dad said, "I wonder if they're hot." And so I took one and I ate it, right? And of course, instinctively I thought, if this is really hot, I now look stupid a bit, don't I? Because like, so as I'm eating it, it's really, let me tell you, it was the hottest thing I've ever eaten in my life. Yeah, like really fucking hot. But what I did was I just put the rest of it in my mouth and ate it, and I went, "They're all right," and then just ate it. And I just didn't show any reaction whatsoever, because the next step is my dad picked one up and he ate it. And they weren't fucking all right, they were really hot. And after he reacted with, "Oh my God, they're really hot," then I was able to go, "Yeah, can we get some drinks?" And like, you know, but up to that point I had to hold my nerve. And that's the point, is like, you don't have to, like, you know, you're in control of your own fucking body, aren't you? Like, you should hope so. Yeah, the Skittles taste a bit funky, but also they're definitely made of sugar and flavourings, and they're not made of nappies or baby vomit, so you can just eat it and it's fine. Like, oh, that bit of cheese was a bit strong, I can just eat it, it's fine. Or that bit of fish was a bit weird, I could, like, or the oyster, you know, but I don't spit it out and go, "Oh, blah, 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 blah." Just get it down, you can handle it, you'll be all right, you're an adult. In your case, Phil, it was some Skittles. I'm sure you were fine.
I almost vomited on stream from it, and that's why I stopped doing it. I never did it ever again. I couldn't do it, you know. "13 days till your birthday, Juan. Good for you."
So once in a restaurant that I used to work at, this lad who I don't know, you know, I don't know him that well. I say I don't know. I knew him a bit from working in the restaurant, but I don't know him. Yeah, and I don't know about him as well. I think he had a bit of a, like, I guess, snide attitude, or because in the kitchens you used to get people who were sort of Gordon Ramsay effect, a bit aggressive, a bit like mean to the new person, stuff like that. I don't know. Like, so this guy came up to me once with a very slither thin cut of pork that he'd seared on the outside, and it was still kind of raw on the inside, like sushi. And he said, "This is something I've been working on, sushi pork. Try it." And I thought to myself, you don't eat raw pork, it's really bad for you, it can give you like diseases, yeah, so you shouldn't eat raw pork. But because he was like higher up in the chef order than me, and he's just like offering me a very small piece of food to try, I just like went and like put it in my mouth and then just went back to work. And I thought to myself, is he trying to fuck with me so that I should say to him, "No, I won't eat this, it's raw pork, you can't eat raw pork"? Or are they laughing at me because I ate raw pork? Or did I do the right thing by just thinking, he's being weird, like maybe he is trying to construct a dish and he wanted me to try something, and I've eaten something that's weird and not potentially that good for me, but it's only a bit of rawish pork, and I'm not going to fucking die from a tiny sliver of raw pork. Or maybe you can, but it's okay. And that's always gone through my head, not about weird things you've eaten. Should I have eaten that sliver of raw? It was only like very thin, like a taste of a sliver of raw. It was seared on the outside, he'd actually cooked it, you know, he'd done something with it. But I thought to myself, you know, it's in the food hygiene manual that you don't eat raw pork. Like, if you'd have done it with raw chicken, I'd have said no. I'd have actually said no to that. But like, raw beef you can definitely eat, you know, seared like that. Raw fish, you know, you eat like that. Pork, I don't think you do. But like, you know, to keep him quiet, I ate the fucking sliver of pork and just got back on with work. It didn't matter to me. Maybe they laughed at me behind the scenes. You know, maybe they were like, "Ha ha ha, you ate the raw pork, the idiot." And I was just like, well, I know you're not supposed to eat it. You know, I know, I get the joke or whatever, but fuck it. Like, whatever. Yeah, that's never left me.
I hope your plans are in your final stage for whatever you're going to be doing for your birthday.
Very good. What are you cleaning?
No, I said I never
Where's
had
the good
pizza
lighter
flavored
gone?
Pringles, ranch buffalo Lay's stacks. I never had Lay's stacks at all. Never tried those.
Never. You've never lived, mate.
Yuck. Vanilla, yes, vanilla pudding power. I remember that. They called it vanilla pudding power, and they were acting like the pudding in the Ninja Turtles pie was supposed to be like the ooze that mutated the turtles. That's just what I want to think of as a kid, that I'm eating the green fucking ooze. It's going to mutate me.
Didn't you enjoy it then? I bet you did eat them though, you fucking dickhead. We're critiquing the marketing of desserts to children in the mid-80s. Like, you could do that as a fucking thing. Like, you could talk about the commodification of children's minds and how marketing professionals had to come up against ever-increasing laws that were passed, you know, legislation. For example, Transformers was a reaction. we used to put adverts on to children, just on for children, just big old adverts, just have it on for children all the time. And they said, hang on, we're not doing that anymore. You've got to chill out now on the amount of adverts you're putting on for these children with these toys and that. And so Transformers said, what about TV shows like cartoons? They're allowed to watch them, aren't they? And they said, yeah, they're allowed to watch them. And they're like, right, well, we're making a TV show now, and it's going to be 30 minutes long. And now it's an advert, but it's 30 minutes long, you dickhead. And so you can't have us for this. Transformers, the 30-minute advert, there's going to be toys. And the concept was, we've got some toys to sell, let's make a cartoon. And they got around it that way. So it totally like influenced the way we, consume culture. And nowadays you go to the movies and you pay them to watch Transformers, and there's still toys involved, but you know what I mean? It's weird, isn't it, the way it's all gone on? You could do a whole thing about that, Phil. You've lived through it all. But instead it's just like, yeah, I didn't like the gunk in the Turtles fucking pudding. That's bad. Anyway, next comment.
Right.
What kind your favourite? What's your favourite crisps? I mean, oh my God, I've got some favourite crisps. Walker's Poplars, or whatever they're called, Popper Balls. They're fucking awesome. They take the crown at the moment, those Walker's Popper Balls. For a while, the kettle crisp, the kettle chip was like top of the range, wasn't it? But then they all started doing them, didn't they? Tesco Finest, everyone's got their own kettle chips now. Now you've got all the same bags, everyone's got the same bags, and the quality's kind of slipped a bit here and there. And I don't know, Bugles, yeah, I've got a big bag of Bugles in the other room ready to be eaten. I might start eating that now, actually. Like... I should really refill the drink before I do this. I've got the the Snack Right hoops as well. Snack Right hoops as well. They're Aldi hula hoops, but they are basically hula hoops. They must come out of the same factory. I'm telling you. They're not going to set up another production line for hula hoop based snacks, are they? There's one factory producing all the hula hoops, and Aldi just come along and say, do us a run in these bags, and we'll negotiate a price. Because to me, that's a hula hoop. There's probably some way of diluting the product with a slightly cheaper base ingredient, and then they run them through the same machine. That's all that is. Nice snort.
How did Khat and I meet? You know,
Good
it's
question.
a funny story. We were both in this underground cage fighting ring.
What?
And I was actually fighting this guy who had glued all of this shattered glass to his gloves.
Hey, wait.
He like,
I watched this in Detractor Beam the other day. Or was that today? Or yesterday? This is weird. I saw this and I made a comment about it in Detractor Beam. It was a kickboxer. Or was this a film? Dolph Lundgren or someone? This is weird. I feel like I'm in a time warp.
weird. He first of all, he put glue and then he put it right in the glass and he licked it. And he actually had blood coming out of his mouth. And it was very scary. And Khat was actually there, and she was working for the secret organization who actually held these underground fights. And so, as I was about to participate... Oh, wait. No, wait a minute. That's a movie. That's a Van Damme movie. Sorry, I got that confused. Sorry, that's not how we met.
Well, that's not right, though, because how did you meet?
Anyway. Have I ever had ketchup-flavored chips?
No, we're moving on from that. What about the actual question?
You know, I want to say I have, but I don't recall. Like, I feel like I know what they would taste like, but I don't actually
Ketchup, you fucking dickhead.
remember eating them. So maybe I never have. I don't know. What's up, Captain DCW? Good to have you here today. He's chilling, playing Spider-Man, watching football today. Cool.
Cool.
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun. Way more
Iron Man
fun.
the Power says he's been playing the Tekken 8 with a closed beta with Nina. How is it? Are you having a good time, and how are the online connections? That's what I'm really curious about. Is it hold?
Now listen. The Bugle is an awesome snack. It is. It is very, very good.
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier. Swish, and then fruit.
Jessica sent tippies. So you wanna get some Bin Boost jelly beans for stream, big UPS chuffers and mimps. Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Thank you for the tippies. I don't care what's in them, mate. You could tell me there's donkey hair in them. I'm still eating them. They come out like this. You could tell me it's made of fucking fish eyes. I'm vegan. I'm still eating that. That's a really fine snack. Yeah, okay, the bean boot. Thank you very much for the tip. Thank you. And now I'm obligated to buy the beans and eat them on stream. I don't know why, because you're not going to get anything out of it. I'm just going to sit there and eat sugary sweets without any expression on my face whatsoever. I see it as a personal fucking challenge to eat them without any... And at the end, I'll say, I will honestly say, that one tasted like this. You put in chat what you think, and I will pull no expression, and you can have your gambles and your bets, you know, whatever you want. But I will pull no, you will see no difference in my expression on the nice ones or the not nice ones, except if sometimes I go, that's nice, and you'll have to guess if it really is nice or not. But other than that, I'm not going to put one in my mouth and go, oh, yuck, oh, I can't hack it. No way. I'll eat them all just like, I'll eat 5 at once, all different, yum, bad, or whatever. Glob, 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 glob. Whatever you want. For that money, I'll go and spend it on jelly beans. Yeah, I'll get some jelly beans for the stream. We'll do it, but I don't know why, because you won't get any satisfaction out of it. I'll just sit there eating jelly beans with literally no expression. Be like a robot. Might as well feed them to the toaster.
Up. Street Fighter 6.
Challenges. Like, don't start me doing this now. We'll start off on jelly beans, and the next thing you know, I'll fall off a fucking building. YouTuber dies swallowing a whole lemon. I don't like challenges. Extra hot Cheetos. I can eat hot things. Like, I don't really want to, but I can. Like, I'm tolerant. I've got the tolerate. I've got the tolerance. That hot chip, the Packy one chip, I'm not really into that because whilst I have the tolerance, right, it's an ordeal. It's not worth it to me. Fermented egg again. Oh, I can definitely eat that. I can eat it with no complaint and just get it down. But it's a horrible ordeal that I don't really want to have to go through. It's just going to sound daft. I don't really like baked beans. The dog wants these crisps now. I don't really like baked beans. Not really. But once when I was a kid, I went to my friend's house and they served us baked beans on toast for tea. And like everyone sat down in the family, including me, the guest, to baked beans on toast. And so what I did was I ate the baked beans on toast and then that was that. I didn't make any faces or anything. I didn't really like baked beans, the mushy consistency. And then after that, I thought, right, well, it turns out I can eat them even if I don't really like them. And then when I had like a full English breakfast when I was younger, they put all the different stuff on, and they might put black pudding on there, or they might put a tomato, or they might put a mushroom, whatever it is. I can cut it up into bits and eat it with my dinner. Like, you know, when I was a kid, there was a phase where I wasn't very good on different vegetables, like most kids. But yeah, I ate them off. Like, you just put it down in front of me. I like kind of got it in my head when I was a kid at one point. Like, mainly because I didn't want to just like say, I don't like baked beans, I'm not eating dinner with you people. I was like, yeah, polite, and I'll just eat the baked beans. And I thought, well, it turns out you can eat loads of stuff, really. No. That's what being an omnivore is like. And then you kind of get a taste for things that you might or might not like, but, yeah. I think with the hot stuff, I've got the tolerance, but I don't know if, like, again, I would see it as a challenge on stream to the point where I wouldn't allow myself to react. So what you would see is just, you would expect that it probably feels bad for me, but you wouldn't really know. And I'd just sit here just being like, I think the jelly beans are acceptable because like it's not that horrible for me. It's bad sometimes, and you know that half of those beans are going to be not nice. But and there's another thing: is why are you paying money to buy something to eat that you don't like? And these days, there's no way I'd eat something like shark's fin soup or anything. But yeah. Your mate ate a rabbit dropping in some bran flakes. No, that's where I probably would draw the line as well. I wouldn't want to eat poo. Definitely not. I wouldn't want to eat a dog poo or anything like that. Don't even go near that. Like if you're working on a building site, you might have a bit of shit in your tea. Like not shit, but like dirt. And like you might have dirty hands while you eat your sandwiches or whatever. Like you can tolerate a bit of like, you know, mud from the allotment when you're washing off the carrots but like actual horrible stuff, yeah, I don't want that. Like there's limits. And like, I wouldn't eat a food poisoning nightmare. You know, if you went to a restaurant and you saw like all dodgy stuff going on, like, and you thought they've not cooked this properly and it smells funny, I'm not just eating it to be polite. Oh, there was one time, right? My dad bought these snails from the fish market, and they were like big. They were like African land snail size, like they were big. They were sea snails or something. And like, so he bought these big snails and he cooked them up and he did a sauce with them and stuff. And like, we had them for dinner, me and him. And they tasted fucking like socks. They tasted horrible and smellless. And I knew they tasted bad. But we both ate them. And that was one of them where if I'd had more experience, I'd have said, that tastes like food poisoning in a fucking mouthful. I'm not eating any more. But I ate them all. And then at the end of it, the next day, me and Dad were both fucking horrifically poorless with the food poisoning. So if I went travelling, you know, street food and stuff, or like badly washed stuff, or, you know, there's limits, isn't there, with your health. But you like these, don't you? It's Bonza Bonanza time. Darkside Phil got me eating bugles somehow.
Because Mortal Kombat 1 did not.
And also, listen, because we're omnivores, it depends on your situation. And that's not just... Shush now. That's not just, you know, if you're trapped in the woods and you haven't got anything to eat and you found a fucking rabbit, you know, you're going to eat it. Or a mushroom, or whatever. And it's not just that. It's also through economics and finance. Like, you know, people find that the daily grocery shop, you know, what's convenient and all this other stuff. Like, there's all these other reasons why people eat certain foods, socially, economically. And then there's traditions and stuff like that. So like, it's hard really being vegan and saying just stop eating everything that's not vegan, because like, there's all these other things in the world, aren't there? And it's like, I shouldn't just shut down the whole world. Shush. But it would be nice if the whole world did go vegan and everything became sort of relic of the past, and us talking about eating animals sounded like fucking ludicrous nonsense. But yeah.
And by the way, just for the record, I forgot to mention this, but the online numbers for Mortal Kombat 1 were revealed. Mortal Kombat 1 has gotten about 1/3 less amount of online players than Street Fighter 6.
Ah, fuck you.
Not surprising.
Mortal Kombat.
Anyway,
Mortal Kombat twats.
Derek says the tier maker is looking good. Any more Halloween film franchise suggestions? How about this, Derek? Can you send me an email with the franchises you have in the tier maker?
Derek, can you send me an email? It should be a phrase that no one utters.
Because I'd like to see what's in it. And then if there's a few last minute ones to add, I'll let you know what I think. But I don't know what you have in there yet. I know I sent you a bunch of suggestions a couple weeks ago. If you can let me know what's actually in it, we can maybe finalize it. Because I'd like to get my hands on it a little early, too, so I get it set up for the stream.
You probably want to watch the films.
On Tuesday next week, so. What's the next horror movie review going to be? Dr. Sleep. I'm going to watch the sequel to The Shining, Dr. Sleep. I'm very excited to see this movie because
Actually, I'd like to see that.
Really like The Shining. And I've heard that Dr. Sleep is a very good movie. So
I might
that's
watch
gonna
that.
be the next one. And then, if I have time for another one, I'll do it. If not...
Teresa Dragonman. When my son was a year old, I found half a slug in his mouth. He'd eaten the other half. He said it was nice. Bad times.
The last one for the month will be Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I told you guys I would do.
When I was a kid, I used to sit on the floor. My mum would come in the kitchen, and because I was on the floor, you know, as a little, you know, toddling baby, I'd be in the cat's bowl eating the cat's biscuits off the floor. Like, to this day, the Whisker's biscuits, I find totally palatable. Honest to God as well. I have considered, behind the scenes I've talked about, I don't want to really voice it too much on stream because I don't want everyone to hear it, because like people might nick my idea, but I think I might do a cat food tasting session. You know, see what my cat's eating, what it tastes like. For a stream, do a bit of a tier list. But yeah, I did used to eat the cat's biscuits.
I want to watch this Five Nights at Freddy's movies and review it for you. So, excuse me.
Now I've got crisps around my mouth. All my drink's gone. It's past midnight now. I've got to go off and eat my dinner, you know.
Is it? People think it's a very good movie. I'm glad to hear that.
Phil's got me lulled me off now. Lulled me out. It's made me want to. I've eaten some snacks now. I want to go and get some proper food, and maybe watch that film he suggested. Phil's not bad. Really. Sheba's posh people shit. Well, what the thing is, Willy Slick Willy Dig, we can find out. I can line up several different brands of cat food, and I can eat them myself and tell you what I think. I've let the cat out of the bag now, so to speak, but that's a stream that I'd kind of like to do. Like, part of my brain says don't do it, and part of my brain says to 100% do it. So, until I've done it, it doesn't exist. Like, if I do it, then it exists and it's done, and then I have to live in the world where it's done. But if I don't do it, it doesn't happen. Like, maybe it's okay. Like, once I've done it, if it's a mistake, then I can never go backwards, can I? So, I'm not sure if I do want to do it, but part of me says I can picture the scene as well. Like, you know, white background, me, tier list, and then spoon, cat food, eating, telling you what I think. I think it'll be okay, won't it? I don't know where that goes on, what channel that goes on. Members only content, probably. I don't know if I should do it as a full stream or just do them one at a time as like individual, like little videos. There is a vegan cat food, but I'm not giving it to my cat because she's not a vegan. She doesn't understand any of that. She's a cat. And she's carnivorous. And so the thing with the cat food is, as a vegan, how can you be a vegan and buy animal products? Well, they're a byproduct of the animal industry. And if everyone stopped eating animals, then I would have a much harder job sourcing my cat food. But we're not there yet. So we don't even have to worry about it. At the moment, there's an awful lot of animal waste, animal byproduct waste. You know, there's an awful lot of that, so... If I'm going to eat meat yesterday, I used to back when I was like, okay, so like say Friday night. Oh no, Friday night was Chinese night because I'd go home from work with a decent amount of money because I'd done a hard day's work on the hair Friday night. Friday's usually a good day. Usually finish late, having had a couple of beers and grab the Chinese, get home so that I can eat that, watch football, and then Saturday it's hairdo time again. So I get up in the morning, get to work. Saturday hairdoing. So I didn't like to stay out late on a Friday. So Friday would be Chinese, but a standard dinner for me would have been a ribeye steak, bashed up a bit, you know, lightly seasoned, little bit of oil, flashed in the pan, and at the same time throwing a bit of asparagus or purple sprouting broccoli or something like that. A lot of people who like carbs and, you know, in their diet, they talk about that. I just couldn't be arsed with potatoes sometimes. So a lot of the time it was just meat and literally 2 vegetables. And then, like, that's quite a simple way to cook, but... I can do loads of complex stuff as well. You know, I can do like curries and carbonaras and whatever. But like for me, just for my ease of use, I would do that. Would be quite a standard. I'd eat that 2 or 3 times a week, maybe. Something akin to that. I used to like a lot of pork belly under the grill. Like again, simply with just a couple of bits of like vegetables, but not no more. If people didn't eat animals, would we be overrun with them? No. What, like cows? There'd be less of them. There'd be fewer of them. Like do you know what's the most popular bird in the world? Anyone in chat? I suppose it's easier to get it now and you'll get it. Do you know what the most popular bird in the world is? The most of them. There's more of these birds than anywhere else. Do you know what the bird is? It's a chicken. There's more chickens than any other bird. Well, we created the load. Like, which animals are you talking about? Where would they go? What animals? Like cows? They just be around? Where would they go? They just live their lives and just be around. What do you mean? Seagulls? No, it was chickens. Turns out it's chickens. Sorry. The answer's chickens anyway. There's a bit of a delay on the stream, but the answer's chickens. There's 1 chicken for every... Or there's more than one. I think there's like 1.5 or like 1 chicken for every human being on Earth at least. More than 1 chicken for every human being on the Earth. Because we breed them, don't we? We breed them in the masses. Like that one generation of animals that we've bred, they need dealing with, obviously. But in the future, if we didn't breed fucking thousands of pigs and thousands of like cows and thousands of chickens, so that we can feed them to people, they wouldn't exist. They just wouldn't be we breed them. Like we artificially inseminate ovums and create them. Like normal nature, like in the wild, is not that abundant. Like you know, if you go and look at any normal ecosystem, like the woods or the jungle. I mean, the jungle's teeming with life. Don't get me wrong. But you know what I mean? It's not like there's a overpopulation of monkeys or like who would look after them? Which animals? What animals? What, the ones that we want to eat? That generation needs dealing with. It's either like caring for them until they die or butchering them like every other animal before them. But other than that, cows can just go out and be cows. Like you don't need to look after them. They existed before us. We took them and bred them and made them weird. Cows, sheep and pigs. In the wild, they have like wild boar. And they just like live like in the wild. They're just like wild boar, and we captured them and turned them into pigs that you know today, isn't it? I don't know why I'm picking this one. This is a bit of a weird context, but this is a wild boar that thinks it's a dog because it's been raised with a dog look. But there's a little wild boar. Like that's pigs, yeah. And the pigs we've got today are bred from that. Like we've taken it and messed with it, bred into bread. Like we've got to the pigs of today. So I'd probably just abandon the pigs of today. Not abandon them in the street. I mean, we'd say no more pigs from now on. We're not breeding any more of them. We're not forcing them to breed. That style of pig that we've created is probably not going to survive in the wild. So no more babies. That just kind of goes into extinction. But these pigs that exist in the wild, that type that you would literally find that in the wild. You know, living in the wild with a family of pigs in the wild, they will exist because they're wild animals that just live in the wild, and we're not overpopulated with them. They just fucking exist, aren't they? Little wild, you know, the wild boar. There's one having a go at some people. There they are in the forests. They're just pigs that live in the forest, aren't they? Like those pigs would exist, and the farmed pigs would go out of existence, I would say. I mean, maybe it's a mistake because, you know, it's a way of feeding large populations, the farmed pigs. You know, maybe letting it go extinct is a mistake. Maybe we'd still, as an animal conservationist, there's still an argument. This is proper, you know, heavy conversations, isn't it, for a vegan? But maybe there's an argument for saying we keep a sort of a stock of those animals bred in a particular organised and controlled setting where generations of pigs continue to live, but unmolested by humans, just able to live out a fairly normal life, being fed, rooting around, not being shot and dead, killed for meat, but so that we've got a stock breed if we need them for any sort of like nuclear war, fallout, repopulating the earth purpose. But otherwise, they're the pigs that live because they're the pigs. Would we run out of vegetables? No, because we feed, like, bear in mind, when you do factory farming, so some of the animals, though, would go extinct, and it would be up to certain individual, I mean, you know, you have rare breed, like, at the moment there are rare breed animals, rare breed pigs, let's put rare breed pigs, like, these only exist because people decide to keep them and farm them, yeah? Like, if they didn't, they would go into non-existence because they don't exist in the wild. So we've created them out of nothing, so to speak, out of like the wild stock. We've created the rare breed. So some people could continue to just simply breed. They don't have to kill them and eat them. They can continue to breed them if they want. It's a bit like dogs, but really they serve no purpose in our future like ecosystem to be farming animals like this for meat. So like we don't, like, that's just like a sort of, in the same way as you might still see someone performing the job of a wool spinner by hand, like a country fair, there will still be some people who, like, you know, retain the old ways. And I'm not suggesting they should kill them for meat, but maybe keep a breeding stock if they don't want it to go out of existence. But there's no real argument for keeping it in existence other than we created it and there it is. And like, you get these, you know, problems with the breeds that we created because they were bred for different reasons. Yeah. So, yeah, I would say that a lot of animals would go extinct or be kept, you know, if people chose. I'm not saying completely you can't have ecological and forward-thinking ideas about maybe keeping a breeding stock, but in general, the masses are not going to be eating fucking loads of dead pigs, so we don't need to breed fucking millions of dead pigs. And then the answer to the next thing is about running out of vegetables, is that like the soy that we eat is the same soy that we feed animals. So at the moment we grow fucking loads of food and we give it to animals so that they can eat it, so that we can eat the animals. And it turns out it's better if we just eat the food. If you grow food and then eat it and then we cut out the other step, it's actually more ecological. So there would be more vegetables because we wouldn't give them all to the animals to eat, and we would grow more of them. Like all the farmers that farm pigs could just farm vegetables, so that would be easier. Veg in our weather, I would suggest that it's probably, there's two ways to look at this, right? Veganism isn't going to destroy our economy. Like, it can't. It would just be like a slight adaptation. Check this out. In the 1900s, whale oil was the biggest industry in the world. And then overnight, we discovered petroleum and electricity. And overnight, whale oil went down the pan. And it was a big industry. They used to go out whaling, and they used to kill whales, and they used to use the oil for the lights. And it went down the pan. And that's fine. We live in the world without whale oil. No one's cross because we're not killing whales. You don't like soy, yeah, but it's an example of a food product that's grown in vast quantities and then just simply fed to animals instead of, like, I could eat it. Like, in all the places they grow soy, they could grow other things. It's just an example. Like, when you look at and you don't like certain kind, like, soy's versatile and can be used in different ways, in the same way as, like, a pot noodle can taste like all sorts of stuff. I'm surprised. I would be surprised some of the dishes that I've had that were soy based you might actually enjoy. Maybe you'd have to try a few different ones. In the same way as I was open minded about eating a pig's trotter, I think you might want to be open minded about eating other forms of vegetables and things like that aren't as bad as pig's trotters. Because like when we were looking earlier about the woman eating a spider, this, like, soy's not like spiders, so you know it's actually okay to eat. It kind of doesn't make you feel bad. Oh, horrible! It's like a vegetable. So, yeah, the vegetables in our weather, there's two ways to look at that. One is that I think it's really important that we maintain local infrastructure, local supply chains, so that in instances like, for example, we've just lived through a fucking damn pandemic, like supermarkets were running out of things because the supply chains were international. I think, yeah, we need to maintain workable and feasible local supply chains, which means local farmers, farm shops, you know, sustainability in that aspect, local produce being celebrated. I think, personally, even as a vegan, it's wonderful to see. It's hard to just, you know, certain places like Parmesan cheese comes from Parmigiano and wherever, like, it's a special cheese from a special place and it's their local produce, and you know, I like that sort of business. I think that's kind of cool. I'd like to see it all vegan, obviously, but those local supply chains should exist, but of course they need to be subsidized in some way, because it's much better to say, look, if Kenya can grow green beans and they've got the perfect climate for growing green beans, and growing green beans in Kenya en masse means that our beans are better, cheaper, and all we have to do is ship them from abroad, and the cost of shipping them doesn't outweigh the cost that they come much, much cheaper, then we'll just get the beans from Kenya. Like, whoever's the best at growing something, you grow loads of it, and we all, because it's now cheaper because you're doing loads of it, we all benefit. But you have to have a stable global economy for that to happen, and not this international fucking problematic war zone. So there's a problem with the supply chain, so you need to make sure localism still exists. But in the main, most of the foods that you eat and enjoy come from global supply chains, because it's cheaper to get tea from China than it is to grow it at home, because the climate's better for it. So yeah, wherever's good for growing vegetables, grow them there and grow fucking loads of them, and then ship them around the world. Oh, but what about the bad shipping, the bad pollution? Do it in an ecological way. But yeah, that's, you know, globalism is thrown about as a negative, like in terms of conspiracy theories and the globalists, but actually in economic terms, you think about economies of scale, and instead of me growing like, let's say I want to eat barley and corn and I want to have apples and pears, and like I grow barley, corn and apples and pears, it's a right faff for me to do all those 4 jobs. But I could grow the barley, you can grow the corn, you can grow the apples, and you can grow the pears, and individually we specialise and we get a lot more, and then we share them out, and it turns out it's better for everyone. Instead of us all doing our own individual thing, it was better we specialised. We have what's called economies of scale when we specialise. So the more of the stuff you make, the cheaper it gets, essentially, because we're doing loads of it, in bigger volume, you know, like bulk buying essentially. The economies of scale mean that as you do more in bigger volume, it's cheaper for you. So then we can have really huge volume of green beans in Kenya, and we can get them cheaper even though we're shipping them from Kenya. That's the way we do that. It's globalism. So will vegetables struggle to grow in our weather? They do, and we ship them in from around the world. Like, that's how it works. Like, you don't eat vegetables from Britain all the time. You might be passionate about it and only choose the British grown veg in the supermarket or whatever, but in the main, you know, we do that. And then the other alternative is we just grow things indoors these days, because we've got these LED light things and like vertical farms that we can do. Vertical indoor farming is quite efficient. So it's going to be sad for vertical indoor farming. This is a problem in the UK, right? It's in the UK. So back here with this video about this pig, you've got this man, and you've got this on the telly all the time, and it's pumped down your throat, and you'll see it all the time, which is that the old countryside in Britain and farming is, and I know people that are in our chat and are lovely people that are like into farms, so I'm not going to be like, you know, I agree, the traditions, you know, the culture, but it's pumped down your throat. This is how we do things, farming this way. So they own a lot of land in the countryside, and they farm things this way, and they control a lot of our food supply. So I guess they hold a lot of sway when it comes to the voting and the ideas. But vegans, in the main, don't agree with this practice in general of, like, you know, the way we used to farm. So there are other options, and I would say that I have to type in again. Indoor. I might be wrong in this. Indoor vertical farming, but in the future, I would say that stuff like this, robotically controlled indoor vertical, that's going up. Like, it's like a big pipe going up. Like, you know, there are other ways that using technology, we can do the same job like as this, but indoors in different ways. And like, it's more controllable. You're not, it doesn't matter about the seasons. As long as you can produce energy, you can do this. So it becomes a matter of how much energy can you produce, rather than is the sun shining, is the rain coming, have we had a good season, a bad season. If you've got enough energy, your season is guaranteed. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's much more controllable. So I think that in the future, the powers that be would probably want something that's more consistent and controllable. And okay, you're changing the challenge, you're creating something that's farmed differently, but it seems like if it will be efficient energy-wise, then you can do different and maybe more efficient things farming-wise. So I see there's a potential for this sort of automated indoor farming to take over. You know, I don't know. You know, I'm not an industry insider here, but it looks like they're doing a lot of this at the moment in the high end in places. I've seen it in action, actually working in places. At the moment, there's a, like I said, like a stranglehold on our food chain, which is that the people that own a lot of land that produce the food, the farmers in inverted commas in the UK, and the NFU Mutual Insurance Agency and all the industry around them, they're also people that vote for the Conservative Party, and the Conservative Party, you know, share interests, and so maybe pushing this through might not be on their top of their agenda, because like, no matter how good it is for the environment, they might not want it as top. Like, because what we're also talking about with this stuff is like, when you do the, I mean, we're blighting the landscape with this, of course, and I would suggest that offshore wind and offshore wave energy might be a better suggestion, but the idea would be that because you move your farming to, because it's vertical, you can have a smaller footprint on the land, so then you can have more wildlife and land. Like, this requires a lot of space, and it takes a lot of effort to cover the space, so it's more efficient to take a smaller thing and go upwards with it and the robot pick it. So it might be that if that took over, then there'd be lots of food, lots of extra food, because we grow it much more efficiently and cheaply, and lots of extra space in the country for wildlife and maybe housing and other stuff. But you know what I mean? It would change the landscape, literally, I suppose, and therefore the people that own the landscape and the people that own the Tory party and stuff like that are probably less likely to want to push this through right now, But it's just there as an option, and vegans sort of point towards this sort of thing and say we could have a better future than the animal abuse industry, really. So that's the answer to that one, I guess. Yeah, wind turbines are a disaster. I guess like the problem is that they're just there will probably be a lot of money that went to a lot of pockets instead of doing the right job with the government and the way they do their things, aren't there? I mean, if anyone didn't see what happened through the fucking last 15 years or whatever. But it would be good if someone got their head screwed on, because we're an island, and the reason we've made so much progress over the last bunch of years is because out in the North Sea, there's oil. They suck up the oil and they sell it. I say the powers that be, these big oil companies, and in pocket of the government, in conversation with the donors to the Conservative Party, these big energy companies, they suck up all the oil. Of course, we get a cut, the taxpayer. We get a cut, and it comes up out the sea. So, but we're also surrounded by water as an island, and there's a lot of hydro wave power that could be harnessed. And I'm really surprised that everyone's go-to seems to be wind. I know there's a big wind industry and a solar. I know there's a big solar industry, but the water around the island is consistent. The waves, you have hydro turbines under the sea, and they just like pump, don't they? So I think maybe the under the sea maintenance might be an issue. Maybe it's that. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, am I? But my gut feeling is that if it weren't for the economic incentive to keep selling oil and keep sucking it up out the sea and keep farming the animal industry, like everyone's got a lot of fingers in the pies already. So to say to them, right, we're just taking the pie away and we're doing everything differently, they're going to be like, no, fuck that. We like the pie. In fact, we're going to advertise everyone in the world should eat the pie on the telly, and we're going to make sure you feel it's part of your heritage that pie is important. And like pie might not be that important, we're just people, whatevs. So when I discovered veganism, I suppose the one thing that I felt like strongly more than anything was that I had to sort of step aside from my feelings about traditions and what being British meant or what being anything meant, and just say, look, we live in the world right now. This is the technology at hand. How would you like to do how would you like to do energy farming? How would you like to do food farming? What would be the best idea for feeding everyone? Or what, and like when I was thinking about it in those terms, like, and also diet, like, forget what it says on the fucking, like, my parents brought me up on fish fingers and toast or whatever. Like, I can choose what I eat, yeah. And like, I would look into, people do the keto diet, or they do the whatever diet, people are interested in their diet these days. They're interested in the food. What's in it? Is it organic and all this? Well, like, if you're that interested in it and you look into it, it turns out it's not really healthy to eat a load of dead animals. And it's actually a lot more healthy to eat a lot of vegetables. So if you start from scratch now and just don't know anything, if you come down from space and no one's telling you anything, and you said, what should I eat? Like, dead animals are going to be the last thing on the list, really. Like, you're going to go through all the vegetables and the fruits and like all the good stuff like that first, all the grains, and then like someone's going to say to you, do you want to eat this dead seal? And you're going to be like, no, like, it's really fatty and it's full of all these bad things, and like most of it needs like heavy cooking and processing before it'll even be consumed. I know I'm an omnivore. I can eat a brick, I can eat a moth, whatever, but like, I don't want to. No, I'm happy with these wonderful fruits, vegetables, mushrooms, pulses, grains. It creates a really interesting, varied diet that ticks all the boxes and is really healthy and sustainable. Like, it's like all the box ticks. Like, we've got a problem with the earth in terms of ecology. Veganism. You've got a problem with your health because of the cholesterol. Veganism. Like, you've got a problem. There's these different aspects to it. Politics as well, like I say, comes into it a lot. Wanting to make sure that people who are in poverty situations have enough to eat because food is sustainable and fairly cheap. At the moment, factory farming, but it should be veganism. Like, so, yeah, we're just in the way we are because of the way people did things. Like, back in Egyptian times or Victorian times or whatever, like, they used to eat whatever they like. We're talking about weird food as well, aren't we? Like, imagine all the weird food that got eaten over the years that we said, I don't want to do that anymore. Well, I don't think we should eat that anymore. Like the old, like I bet if you looked at an Elizabethan, or like let's put Elizabethan food. Like they didn't have certain things, did they? I don't know if Sir Walter Raleigh had come back with the fucking potato, but like the way they used to eat, weird Tudor foods or whatever. Like you're not going to be eating that today. Like you're going to say that's probably or weird, yeah, or we can do it better or whatever. And like so we should. So just because we always used to have a Christmas dinner that had this, that and the other doesn't mean we can't have whatever else we want. And these days people don't eat Christmas pudding, they eat whatever the fuck they want. They don't have Christmas pudding, they have whatever the fuck they want. So I think it's a bit like that with veganism as well. But at the same time, like I'd visit St. John here and eat the pig's trotter. Like not 10 years ago I would have been straight on that. And if my dad said we're doing this for my birthday, part of me would say I'll abandon veganism for one night and I'll just do a special night with my dad eating a pig's trotter in the same way as I can eat a moth. So it's a weird thing. We're just humans and we have choices. But I think overall the major industry, that's the problem. The major, the huge industry that creates a lot of torment for a lot of animals. I'm not saying that eating one or two is okay, but like the torment and the horror, like it's too much and it's gone on too long. So. We're the sophisticated people. We're the forward-thinking. We're the West. We've got all these options and these choices, and we should be making better choices, I think. And even going back the other way, like if you live in a village where you've only got like one goat and one pig, like you don't eat it every day for your breakfast. Like you rely on all these other staple foods instead. So veganism is a lot more natural and a lot more human than people think. And it was only upon the even with old farming techniques, it wouldn't have been every day that you kill the pig, but the modern techniques and the factory farming, we've gone so far. Even if people eat meat and think here's a vegan preaching, but even if people are out there thinking, well, I only, but we don't. The way we run the world now is completely distorted and out of whack. And like, I'm not showing you the pictures of the cows and the sheep and the pigs that go through the horror. I'm not showing you that, but we all know it goes on, don't we? So, the chicken nuggets are not having a nice life, and they don't want it to end in the way it does. So, yeah, it seems a bit fucking horrible to be breeding fucking loads of them just to murder them. So, I just refrain from eating the chicken nuggets. I've got vegan nuggets in the fridge. They're very, very similar. I guarantee as well, we could go eating vegan food. You could do it for a year. You could eat out for a year on vegan food if you're smart and don't just go to like the fucking steakhouse and see what's on the vegan section. But you could eat out for a year, always have something different and new that you hadn't tried, because veganism's new, really, isn't it? Like, you haven't had all this stuff before. You're used to eating the same old sausages. So you could go for a year like eating and discovering, and it'd be an adventure. And even if you didn't at the end of it, you said, fuck it, I'll have a burger now. I'm looking forward to a cheeseburger. That's fine. Like, eat a cheeseburger if you want. But like, it's surprising to me that so many people would try a pig's trotter or like, an oxtail, but they wouldn't try like vegetables for their main meal. Why is their meat-free if vegan food so good? Because many people like you and I are brought up on meat. Like, I was given turkey at Christmas. I was given burgers all the time. Like, it's my staple normal food, and it's the taste I like. Now, if I grew up in Thailand, I wouldn't feel the same about pizza and chips, maybe, or whatever. It's different. It's your culture, and it's what you eat. So I like a burger. I liked meat. So when you offered me the opportunity to be vegan, I'm like, I'll take it, but I'm missing this part of my diet that I'm used to. It's a bit like when I stopped drinking, I still drink fake beer, alcohol-free beer, because it's part of my thing that I liked and I'm used to, and it's like a habit. So like smoking vape instead of smoking cigarettes, like you still want that in a way. Umami flavors and nice stuff, and so you keep eating that alternative stuff instead. But really, when you go back to the real deal, you're like, whoa, hang on, I don't need this. The alternative is actually much better. It tastes, some of the meat burgers I've had, like the actual meat flesh burgers, they've been so fucking horrible. Like, I've had burgers out of chip vans outside the football ground, and they've been rank, mate. Donkey burgers. And then I've had Beyond Meat fake meat burgers, and they've been delicious. So I don't need to go back to the other one. Like, yeah, there's the best burger I've ever had was a meaty one at this particular place, maybe, but I don't know, that was the old me. I think it gives people an alternative so they can make an easier choice, and I think it's helpful. But I think in the long run, after you've eaten a bunch of alternatives for a while, you don't need, you don't look at a a lamb chop the same way. You don't. I ate some Chinese food the other day. I ate a piece of some beef that my friend had, and it tasted like fucking earth. Like, it literally tasted like the earth. It was a little while ago. Like, I think there's a time and like space between eating things that you kind of look at it differently. It's hard to explain. But corn, yeah, I had these corn pieces once that tasted like fish, and I was like, these taste like fish, I don't like these. They're chicken pieces, but they taste like fish. And the next month, they were in the same supermarket, and they'd labelled them as fish. Obviously, people had complained, so they just changed the name to fish. But yeah, it's not all wonderful, like, but you know, it's a step in the right direction. It's easier than just giving something up completely, and because you're used to cooking with this particular kind of ingredient, so you kind of like, my recipes need mince, like you say, so I need vegan mince, so I use that. But if I hadn't lived in a culture that had used to mash up animals all the time and create mince, then I wouldn't have so many recipes for mince. So like, you kind of change over time anyway, and it's a process. So I wouldn't say put all the food in your cupboard in the bin and now just eat vegan. What I'd say is, next time you have an opportunity to try something that's vegan, try it instead of the thing that's the animal thing, and see if you like it a bit. And don't just give me I went for the mushroom risotto and it was mushroomy and I don't like mushrooms. Like, you know, look for options that you might. And the Beyond Burgers, this is the one that I don't think that I should promote businesses, supermarkets, and these people if they're just like horrible money grubbers themselves. But these Beyond Burgers, like, if you see them, just get them and just cook them like a normal burger in a pan. Yeah, and then just eat that on a bun like a burger, like you would. And don't tell me that you go and need to kill cows anymore. I know they're a little bit more expensive than the like meat alternative, maybe, because meat's so cheap. If it's cheap meat, and you said cheap meat was bad and processed, so. But these ones, like, they're just fucking awesome. They're better than most meat burgers. Factually, statement there. You'd have to go to the top end meat burger to get anywhere near what that's like, even as a meat burger liker. The bloke, yeah, exactly, that's the problem. The bloke who runs it is a wrong un. The original company wasn't, but then they sold it to another company, and you've got these problems. And it's sold in supermarkets, and supermarkets have a butcher. But I don't know, like, to convince people that you don't need to eat meat, and and the meat alternatives have a place. This is the proof is. Hitler might have, like, painted nice pictures or whatever, I don't know. This tastes good. That's the argument about the food, is that it tastes good or not. This tastes good. And if you ate it and you did a blindfold taste test with that versus 4 or 5 different kinds of burger, maybe the frozen ones you're used to. When I was a kid, we used to have those bird's eye frozen burgers with the little bits of onion in. This is better than that. Like, just try it and just eat it, and it's a burger. And what have you lost? You had a burger that was a bit different. But if you like it, and you say to yourself, well, actually, that was quite good, then I don't have to eat a meat burger every time. And this is actually better for you. It's got protein in it. It's not as bad for the other things like the cholesterol. Like, it's good for, like, you don't lose in this situation. You have something that's nice to eat, and if the alternative was animals, you would be unhealthy because of it in a bad way that this doesn't do. This is like the vaping of meats and cigarettes, like I said. So this is actually healthier. And they all go on about protein and how much protein is in stuff, because people seem to be really, into that and interested in that. But yeah, they said it in most places now. And now that I've said it, next time you see it as an option, like, have a little try. Some restaurants even serve it because it's an easy go-to, isn't it? A burger, vegan burger. We get the Beyond Burgers in. They're good. Try them. Yeah. All the supermarkets seem to stock them, and they also stock other sorts of stuff, which I guess is interesting as well. But I haven't tried all the other stuff. But no, it's not just that. There's also, like, again, like, I've eaten some dishes now that I've cooked myself, where normally I would have had to put a steak with it for me to consider it dinner. But instead I've, like, gone heavier on the vegetables and done a little bit of extra something else, and you just get used to eating differently. I don't know what the WEF is. I know as well that I've got friends who are farmers, and, like, farmers are good people and, like, care about animals in the main, but it's a sort of the mental dichotomy thing, isn't it? It's one of those it's one of those strange things that we learn and are taught, and just we all do. But it's not that the world has to just like be static and is what it is. And in fact, there would be no farmer who would argue that antiquated systems are the best. They all use modern systems. So going another modern step and questioning what we actually farm and how we choose to farm in the future, that's on them as well. Like, they can totally get into that and enjoy it in the same way as a chef can enjoy veganism. I think a lot of chefs sort of poo-poo it. Oh, we're not cooking the cow, we're not doing any pig trotter. Well, then it's shit food, isn't it? It's just rabbit food for idiots. I don't want to cook that. But actually a good chef would say, so you're giving me a small limitation, which is I'm not selecting from the animal kingdom, but I've got all the other world of food that I can choose from, and I'm allowed to cook whatever I want, and I have to make it taste nice. So isn't that like a good challenge? Like, isn't that fun? Like, most chefs are putting stuff on the menu and suggesting things for the menu, and you're saying to them, well, some people don't want to eat animals, but we can still serve them food. Are you in? Like, yeah. There's a whole world of different alternatives that we hadn't considered, and they do these things that we didn't normally eat. Like, they think of food in a slightly different way, and they look for protein sources, and it helps you. Like, as a chef, I used to work in the kitchens. Like, I'm not saying me as a chef, I'm saying other people that are out there that cook food and love it and feel attached to animal produce. I couldn't cook without eggs, or I can't do it without cheese. Like, as a cook, as a chef, as someone who enjoys cooking, the exploration of ingredients and the seeing of how things are done by other cultures and stuff, like, that's the wonderful part of it. So okay, vegan fish and chips. I can source that for you. This is banana flour fish and chips, and this actually blew my mind. Right, banana flour fish and chips. Like it turns out that if you're connected to a certain thing that much, we can find it in the vegan food world, and you can just have it.
If you're doing really well, today we're going to test a recipe, or more like a concept. We're going to be making vegan fish.
So I'll skip on. Let's see the banana flour, you chuffer. Where is it? Have you got any close-ups? The flower of the banana plant is... Where is it? Have you got it? Can you show it to us?
Battered fish and chips recipe.
So it's going to come out like fish and chips, and it will look
excited.
like fish and chips.
I'm going to try them two different ways. These ones are straight out of the can. I just drained and rinsed them and patted them dry. And then I also wanted to try them with a little bit of a savory fishy marinade. So I drained these and I put them in this container with a couple pieces of kombu, which is a type of kelp, and then a couple of dried shiitake mushrooms to give that.
She's not showing. Oh, there we go. So that's like the banana flour. Like, it's like a flour like that, and it's got layers. So like, it's a vegetable, really. You can see like the core of it at that end there, and the head of it at this end here. But it's the banana flour, and like when you batter it, like, I don't know why she's got a 16-minute video for this, but when you batter it, and then it comes out looking like fish and chips, and you cut into it, because it's got that fibrous texture that goes across like that, it literally looks like fish. Look, when you break it apart, and there's no fishies hurt to do it. So okay, it's not the same as fish, but when you're eating that, you're like, this is very close to fish and chips. Like, it is very close to fish. The main part of the fish and chips is the salt, the vinegar, the batter, the chips, the grease. The only difference is the texture of my fish is now slightly different, but it's very similar. Like, they found a very similar analogue, and I would argue that if that's passable, and it's probably down to the skill of the chef again, maybe, in a way. But if that's... I don't know why we have to emulate fish, because like, we don't have to. This can be its own thing. But this as its own thing, if you'd never eaten fish and chips before, you'd eat this, and this would be your favourite fish and chips. And then someone would say, oh, we can do that with a fish out the sea. And you'd be like, I don't want a fish out the sea. I quite like this one that's come from the flour. It's fine. Like, you'd be the other way around. So...
Okay, eat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cheese is difficult. I will agree with that. I don't think I've found a really good source of vegan cheeses, but at the same time, like, sometimes there might be cheese in a recipe, like, or in a product or something, and I'm just like, oh, it's not so bad, it's not going to kill me, and I don't need to eat as much cheese as I used to think I did. I guess there's that. But yeah, agreed, cheese is difficult. I don't like the sort of they make cheese by mixing up chemicals and you get a sort of fake cheese ingredient product. I'm not a big fan of that, but
that crunch. Well, once you put tartar sauce on something, most of the flavor is masked.
It's hard to make fish though.
Yeah. I get where they're coming from.
It's not bad. Yeah.
But it's definitely not that fish-like.
no, it's not very fishy.
Not
I agree. It's not very fishy, but then that's kind of okay because like it's not a fish, it's a flower. But having fish and chips in a restaurant, like my family had fish and chips, and I had that. And I was happy because I was sat next to them. They were eating fish and chips like they like to, and I had the same sort of experience with the salt and the vinegar and the chips and everything, and it tasted nice, and I didn't think this is horrible. Like I didn't have fish, but I had that.
Firm enough to be fish.
There's no protein in it.
It is really good though, I think.
It is, yeah.
I wonder if there's some way to hybridize this with seitan,
Right.
Like, instead of dredging it with the flour, dredge it with seasoned vitamin.
So now we've got this problem, like you said, about the protein in it, is that we're trying, okay, there's not enough protein in it, but then we're trying to replicate fish in a battered form for you. So we've failed on the protein element, but we've hit the sort of battered fish part. So like this is when veganism is different. It's like I approach my dinner differently and say, okay, like I abandon the traditions of what I used to eat. And if I'm going to start battering things and having potatoes with it, where's my protein going to come from and what am I going to have? Like I can start constructing a dish along those parameters and I can have a very interesting and delightful dish, but it won't be fish and chips. But that's okay because it's not fish and chips. But, if you really want fish and chips so bad, you have to accept maybe that the most fishy sort of thing that we can batter that's vegan doesn't have a lot of protein in it. It's a funny balance, I get it. But, like, swings and roundabouts, I think, in the main, I would eat that again in a restaurant. I'd probably do it. I've got a tin of that banana flour in my cupboard waiting to be cooked into this if I ever chose to do it. But... I'm not that desperate for my fish and chips that I needed to cook it yet, but I think that it's possible, quite probable. And also, I'm not averse as well. My family have had fish and chips, and I've picked a bit of fish before. Like since I've been vegan, like, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to come crashing down. They bought it. It was there. Like it's a normal human English thing to have it around. And like, oh my god, the vegan ate a bit of fish. Yeah, I did that once or twice. I don't know. Like I'm not ordering it from the fucking restaurant and sitting down to a big plate of it. Yum yum. There's my monies. But things are around, like it's okay. But yeah, I think that the main thing here is that you can have fish and chips if you want it, or you can make your own new form of enjoyable meal that doesn't have the fish in it. So that's okay too.
Wheat gluten or something.
Yeah.
So that in between all of those layers, there's some proteins and structure.
Obviously, if you actually want fish and chips with fish in it, you've got a problem because the way they farm the fish and source them, not farm them, I suppose, dredge them out of the sea, that's the problem, isn't it? Is it kills all the sea, doesn't it? It like overfishes them and ruins things, and like things have gone wrong a bit with the fishing, and like there's all sorts of problems and issues with it. So it's probably easier if you just get banana flowers that you can just grow inside in a big indoor room and get them than going out on a boat and risking your life for fucking fish, isn't it?
It's like right now it's good. This would make like a good appetizer or something, but it's not really a full meal because there's no protein.
And there's definitely a vegetable inside of that.
Yeah, but you've had that, right? You usually have, okay, here's the thing. You usually have mushy peas on fish and chips in the UK. So I could have mushy lentils. I could add lentils to it. So that's added a protein source. Or I could have, like the red beans that you get in chili, like they're a good protein source, or like whatever, like, or green beans, like vegetables that have got protein in, or you add mushrooms that you talked about. Mushrooms have got protein. Like there's other ways of just adding protein to it, like mushrooms on the side, like battered mushrooms with it. There you go. Like you don't have to like suffer. You don't have to say, right, it's got to be fish, chips, nothing else. Where's my protein?
It's like jackfruit. When you get to the base of the leaf or the blossom, fries though.
Yeah, the marinade flavor is not really overwhelming me in the way that I expected, just because
I don't really taste it.
Yeah. I don't know, this is really good, but as a fish substitute, I'm not sure. I feel like anything could be made to be reminiscent of fish if you beer battered it and put it with tartar sauce.
Yeah, I agree.
You did beer batter and put it with tartar sauce because you wanted it to be like fish specifically, so that's a bit of a weird critique, but I agree. And so that's that's the vegan fish and chips. And if you ever get the opportunity to try it in a restaurant that's reputable and does a good dish and isn't just slinging something together for the fucking vegans, like, try it. You might have fun. I mean, you might say, oh, well, it was good and I enjoyed it, but I'd prefer to have the fish next time. That's also your choice. But it seems weird to have the decision without trying the one option, doesn't it? And I found that when I tried this option, I was pleasantly surprised, and I said to myself, well, that's good. That's now on my list of things that I like. And I'm glad that I don't have to worry about, oh, how can I get a vegan fish and chips anymore? I've had my eyes opened. So that was good. And that's the journey of veganism, really. I'm doing a big vegan preach now at the end of the show. But, every now and then I do. That's the journey of veganism. It really is that at first you think there's all these things I can't eat, but then you learn there's all these other things that people do eat. And then, like, I tell you what, we went to a Lebanese restaurant when we were in Sweden. And I said about it earlier, so it was in my mind. And, like, you see, now that to me, the pig with the bone in it on the mashed potato, that's a bit like, whoa, it's almost like a bit gruesome to me now these days. But the vegetables and stuff, not so much. So the interesting thing was that when we went to this Lebanese restaurant, their culture is a lot more vegan naturally, and the same with Thai food as well in other places, especially places that revere either the cow or don't eat the pig, stuff like that. Indian food, because they don't eat the cow, like, can be a bit more vegan, and like you can just get stuff off the menu that's just normal for these cultures. Okay, you might be like, oh, this has got fish oil in it, oh, it's not quite vegan, or something like that. But like, again, in those instances, I sometimes just say, okay, like, I'll just eat it, whatever. Like, a little bit of fish oil is not going to kill me. Or if I get this choice and I can say, can I have it without, whatever. But like, a lot of the time you'll find that a lot of exotic, in inverted commas, food is vegan. And there's a lot of other cultures that just naturally eat vegan. A lot of Mexican food as well, that, like, they've got the beans, they've got the corn, they've got the fruits and the vegetables, and okay, beef and pork does come into it, but a lot of the main staples of the diet are not pigs and cows, because not like that's like in human culture and evolution, like mass farming, like I said, didn't really exist, and you wouldn't kill the pig every week. Like, it would be for special occasions and stuff like that, wouldn't it? So the majority of cooking that most normal people would eat, staple foods, are not not animals, they're vegan. And like simple things like tomato and pasta, it's like normal food that you enjoy, but it's vegan. Like, you can enjoy it and it can be vegan. Beans on toast, it's vegan. Like, a lot of normal food is vegan. And then people like put some bacon on top. And like now, like, we've got free bacon everywhere. And like back in the day, you'd have been like, put bacon on top. What are you, the king? We can't afford the bacon until the special occasion, when we were living in the 1600s. But, nowadays it's just like, do you want bacon in it? Do you want bacon on it? Do you want some more bacon, extra bacon? Like, you don't, it's just life and the way things have changed. But yeah, a lot of Mediterranean food is veg. Good call, yeah, absolutely. And like, it's all good food. Like, so yeah, that's the joy of it. Is that it shouldn't be. I think so many people think of veganism as I'm now not allowed to eat my favourite food, so this is shit. But instead, it's I'll keep eating my favourite food for a bit until I found good substitutes, and I'm going to look out for all these other opportunities to eat other stuff, and maybe it might be healthier. You can still be unhealthy. You can beer batter everything if you want. I could eat a battered fucking. I could just eat sugar because sugar's vegan, so I could just eat bags of sugar. But that's not a good diet. So you still have to choose your own diet and stuff. But like, there's a lot of good food out there that you can enjoy. And not just that, but the journey is enjoyable. What do you do about your clothes? I don't buy shoes with leather in them. I don't buy leather belts. My belt that I'm wearing is one of those sort of like canvasy sort of like army looking canvasy sort of belts. And that's that. I don't want to buy stuff from sweatshops, but of course I buy shit off Amazon like everyone else that's got the Genshin Impact stuff on it. Like 50% of me is ethical and makes really good ethical decisions, and then 50% of me is real in the real world and can't afford to live like a fucking hemp. So you mentioned hemp. Like, I can't afford to have suits made out of hemp like Woody Harrelson. I'm not a hemp magnate, but if I can make good choices and ethical ones, I would rather do that. So no sweatshop stuff. No leather, no animal products, but the occasional sweatshop stuff from Amazon, and the occasional pair of trainers with Adidas written on them. But So I guess I'm not the most ethical, wonderful person, but I preach the ethics, and you give me the proper choice, and I would make the best choice. But in today's society, I believe that economically, it's very difficult to make economic and ethical choices in one, because ultimately we all have to shop at the local supermarket. Most of us normal people like me, and I see the actual supermarket as a bad company because they've got a butcher. We all have to get our clothes from fucking Next or whatever. When there's a wedding come up, we all need to go to Next and get a new white shirt. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I can go to the fucking super ethical economy super saver shirt company. So certain normalities of life have to be socially changed as like a big group. People's demands, stuff like that. Next could go vegan, and then I'd just be happier, wouldn't I? But I have to accept sort of my position in society and decide on the priorities of my choices. So I think the eating animals thing is a big one, and I think that's quite easy to make that distinction. And I think the more difficult ones about, well, you're not wearing animals, but the company that make the clothes you're wearing, they did this and that. And I used to get really pedantic about that, and I still feel a bit like that. Why should I promote Tesco's vegan food when they have a butcher on site? But yeah, the clothes I wear are all vegan to the extent that they're vegan, and they're all normal to the extent that they're no more sweatshop stuff than anyone else wears. In that we all wear sweatshop stuff, don't we? But what are you going to do? Not wear clothes, or like get them from the fucking old rope recycling into clothes centre for like extra monies? I don't know. Maybe it's about money and time and convenience. So yeah, but in the main, give someone an ethical choice and say, this one hurts somebody, this one was made by children's tears, and this one was made by a nice family who had a nice time and got paid fairly, and everyone's happy. You'd be like, well, I want the nice, happy family stuff, don't I? I don't want the horrible tears clothes, please. I think, wouldn't they? So, yeah. Very good. Very good. See, that's vegan. I'll tell you what's really fucking cool is going to a new city and then going on the app. There's like a Happy Cow app, and it shows you all the vegan restaurants, and then you can go to a restaurant that's just exclusively vegan, and then everything on there is yummies. And like when you go to a new city on your holidays, they often have them, and then it's like a really cool thing to go and do, and it's fun. I like that. That's a big tick in a box as well. So hummus is a big. I used to have a vegan girlfriend, and she used to eat fucking loads of hummus. I mean, it's got protein in it, hasn't it, and stuff, but like she used to fucking chow down on all that hummus. She used to chop up the peppers and stuff like that, and then eat it all with the hummus. And I wasn't a vegan at that time, and I was eating like double cheeseburgers and Big Macs and steaks, and giving a shit. It's weird. Like, there are still some foods that I think I would agree that the vegan option doesn't come close. Like Chinese food is one. Like, you're brought up on that lemon chicken and crispy shredded beef, and now I can have vegan versions of, or the stir-fried vegetables, or the tempura vegetables, but it's just not the crispy shredded fucking beef, is it? But, and win some, lose some. When the Mayflower restaurant decided to close their doors in our town, they made the best crispy shredded beef, and they closed, and I've never had it like it since. So I can remember it, but I can never have it again. I can still get crispy shredded beef from the other one down the road, like Mr. Chan's is good, but it's not the same. There will never be another crispy shredded beef quite like the one from the Mayflower. It's just how it is. I actually asked, can you do me 10 of these and I'll put them in the fridge? And she said they won't last in the fridge. And I said, I'll freeze them. And she said they won't freeze. Like, she was laughing at me, but I was telling her, I don't want, like, I know you're closing, because I went in, like, they said we are closing, and I was like, right, well, I'm coming in again tomorrow then, and it's like, I'll be in again on Friday, and then you're closed, are you, forever? That's sad. can I please have 10 orders of crispy chicken and, you know, whatever. And she was like, you just can't freeze them. And I shouldn't have listened to her. I should have frozen them. I would still have 2 in the freezer now for emergency purposes. Whatever they did in that restaurant, they did it right. But I mean, every Chinese restaurant in the country is basically cooking from the same stock ingredients and recipe, but they did it right. They used to do it banging. Garlic. All this has come because this man talked about food.
Yes, I'm talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's movies that comes out next week. I'm going to watch it.
And I'm going to watch that movie from The Shining thing, I think. And fuck all this. I feel a bit like that at the moment. Maybe it's because I went to a family funeral, and maybe it's because I felt like we were poised to make a bit of a forward jump. And I know that, like, I'm not saying like anything negative about Steve's operation. I think it's a good thing, and it's about patience and time with Steve. And I'm not going to push him to be ready before he's ready. But I don't know, leading up to Christmas, I guess I feel a bit hemmed in. I feel like I keep going on about it. I feel like I should just put everything in a bag and just go to Amsterdam. But it's been another Sunday. We've got a show to do Monday. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, to be honest. Not looking forward to knowing what I'm doing tomorrow. Alan will return from his holiday, and we will have to cover that. I've got several videos that we cut from yesterday about the Flat Earth woman. They'll go up on YouTube. I'm actually looking forward to saying, let's play some of the Elden Ring. I want to get a Halloween game for Halloween, and we've got the Willy in My Mouth film poster competition. So the next week will lead up to that. So that's all positive. And I'm definitely here through November for a bit because, like, I'm looking after dogs while family members go on holiday. But I mean, it's my fucking dog, so what am I talking about? But like, that's going to be happening. So, and then after November, it's December, isn't it? There's a small window for me to have a little holiday in if I want, but might as well just stick it out until January and see if I can rope some friends in as well. Yeah, funny episode today, I think, of today's show. You sent in a non-Willy related poster. Good. But they don't all have to be. We're going to have to find, like, we're going to have an episode where I fucking tell them all on the mainstream what the rules are, which is there are no rules. The general setup is it's Willy in the mouth, but it can be anything really. Let's just have some fun with film posters. I can't show anything pornographic, so please don't put any actual cocks going into any actual mouths. Because then I will get taken off the internet for cocks in mouths. So I don't know how it's going to go, really. It's a funny setup, isn't it? But yeah, we're going to have a laugh at the Willy in the Mouth film poster competition, launch the song competition for Christmas. That gives everyone the full entirety of November to work on their songs. And leading up to Christmas as well, it gets busy, so I expect that, you know, give them a bit of time. But if you give people too much time, they forget about it. So, but we won't have like a special event in November, but we'll give them the full event in December. So it gives us the lead up. What about dildos? I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know what the terms and conditions are on YouTube about whether I can show people sucking dildos. But you realise that there are terms and conditions, and that sucking dildos might get on the list. So maybe in the context of a film poster, I might get away with it. But do you know what I mean? Like, I'm running the risk of getting my entire channel binned off YouTube because we had a film poster competition. It might be we do the competition on Twitch, and then I upload it to YouTube and edit out, like, put, like, you know, blur on the things that need blurring. So we just do it on Twitch without any regard. And if I get banned off Twitch, I get banned off Twitch. And then, or, you know, I could do it on Rumble or somewhere. But yeah, like, we do it, and then, like, you know, we protect the YouTube by doing it on Twitch, maybe. Or maybe we find out from YouTube before we run it. But yeah, I'm open. Like, if maybe some of the things just have to have that little bit of checker mark blurring on it, you know, and like we checker mark blur some things out, or put the black, you know, I don't know. It's jokes, isn't it? So, I don't know. Hang on. What about this? Look. Can't believe I'm going to do this now. I'm putting people sucking dildos into search. It's brought up some kids there. I'm not looking at the kids. Twitch streamer pulls out dildo on stream. Oops, wrong drawer. Hang on, I'm clicking on this.
I think Khat's the vet too. Like, it's stressful for them. Oh my god. Too, like, it's stressful for them.
I don't know if that's against terms of service. My mate, he married a woman, a lovely lady. I don't know if I should name them, but they are public figures, so to speak. But she worked for one of the sex toy companies reviewing the sex toys, and then she's gone on to do other stuff like writing books and scripts and things. But yeah, she did for one of the sex toy companies, and there's like videos and like she's describing what you do with the sex toys and stuff. She was one of the people that did that. So yeah, that's like normalizing sex things, and that's fine. Like it's like don't think that's negative. I think that's quite normal to like, you know, be grown up and normal and talking about it. But we're going to be having a competition where it's funnest, and I don't know if like obviously on YouTube, look, it's okay to talk about certain things. There's a sex machine review. I mean, you probably can't show it. Oh, look, there's someone sucking a dildo. So I found one video of someone sucking a dildo. So YouTube does let it go on the site, but maybe they just got away with it. This is girl sucking dick lollipops. So there's that. Sneaky dildo. Wait, okay, I've got to watch this. I'm stealing this.
So I'm here today with Rory. Cool. So we're doing animal impressions. So do your best mooing cow. Moo.
A evolving lion, please. Your best evolving lion impression. Do an impression of a really disgruntled cow.
A what?
A disgruntled cow. I don't know. An angry cow. I can't. Oh, I got.
Crazy monkey.
They need to get the payoff.
That could be the best today, potentially. Can you do a horse? Alright. Yeah? Alright. How about like an overexcited, panting dog?
This one seems set up because I can see the dildo in his hand and it looks like he's looking down towards it. And he just brings the dildo up when he does the impression there.
That's really good. 100% the best of the day. He's nailed it.
You didn't get to see the others bring out the dildo, so I wanted to see the moment when they brought it out, how they executed it, but now we're just seeing a load of people doing the dog impression into a dildo. She poked it in his mouth! She didn't even pretend to change it for the microphone. I thought the whole thing was they wouldn't notice the swap, and that you just bring out the dildo and swap and they think it's the microphone, but she poked it in his mouth. No, she poked it in his mouth. I think that's set up. I think they know they're in on it. Because she poked it in his mouth like that. Like, if I did that to a fella on the street, I'd get a fucking slap, I tell you that. If someone did that to my friends would go mental and give them a slap. She switches it like that. It's like the guy should know. Has he got his visor down? What's going on? Just using the dildo as a microphone is good enough. Just doing a secret swap and using the dildo as a microphone and not saying anything and them just continuing to talk into the dildo, that's enough. You don't need to poke it in the mouth.
Yeah, do it again, but stick a tag out. You're a cunt.
You're a cunt. See, I thought that was good. I'm going to steal that. You see, me and Steve could go to a convention and we could swap the dildo for the microphone trick at a convention of any sort and get ourselves thrown out anywhere.
Give me your best panting dog impression, please.
Tired dog. Is that...
what's that?
Oh. Oh, I meant this.
Oh no.
A tired dog.
It's a bit weird though, because he's got a hold of the dildo. It's a bit weird because once they know it's a dildo, what do you do then? Because you're literally in the street holding the wanger. So like you're the weird one for being in the street holding the wanger and poking it in someone's face. So you've got your shot, but then you've got to stand there in the street with the dildo. And most of the time, all the other people are walking past seem oblivious, but like you know someone's going to pick you out and be like, "Oi mate, what are you doing with that dildo?" And it's going to cause some issues.
Hold it. Yeah. I don't think it sticks.
He just started bold, wasn't he? Just sticking it. So yeah, so I'm not going to watch any more of that, but I'll play this.
Shorty rock to the beat for your boy.
No, that's it now.
Rock to the beat for your boy.
Here we go. I want money. I want tips. Pay my taxes.
Eat a dick.
With you.
Easy to eat.
With you.
My tax attorney screwed me over. YouTube views. Fucking pointless. What can I do? I'm screwed. I want to do a fundraiser to pay my tax on Twitch. Violated the rules.
Get that ass banned.
What a bitch. Dumba. It's not my fault. Dumba. It's not my fault.
It was
YouTube.
It was
taxes.
It was
detractors.
It was
cinema.
It was
copyright strikes. Not my fault. Phil, you know, with all this going on, we really want you to have a new TV.
You should tip me. You should tip me.
If you're not aware, just a standard doctor's visit is hundreds of dollars.
You should tip me. You should tip me.
In addition to all of that, last night also, I was looking at gaming headphones.
You should tip me. You should tip me.
I might have to sell my house.
You should tip me. You should tip me.
Shorty rock to the beat for your boy.
Dumba. Dumba.
Rock to the beat for your boy.
Dumba. Here we go. I want money. I want tips. Pay my taxes.
Eat a dick.
There you go. You be good, my little podcast. And if you can't be good, you're naughty.